What is going on? I am Zombie Fishers. It is good to see everybody. I just realized that it is our affiliate anniversary today. How crazy is that? As always, I've got Kody and John. We are going to be discussing some meta talk, some of the things that's gone on recently, and we're going to be covering some of the new Astra Militarum that I think Kody is bursting at the seams to talk about. And I have a Aeldari list that I am kind of interested in discussing with Kody and getting his take on it. So yeah, with that being said, what is going on, gentlemen? I have the wrong screen up. Nope, wrong screen.
Well, very cool.
Yep, that's how that goes.
I love the wrong screen.
There it is. What's going on, guys? Sorry, it was a long day today, so we are running behind, and I'm also messing up what buttons I'm pushing, so that's always fun.
Very cool.
What's going on?
Let's not be too excited here, guys. Jesus Christ! Oh shit! I love the little Rambo thing you got going on there. Is that for your little bit you're gonna put on talking about Astra Militarum?
Yeah. I got a little bit of lore.
Okay. Jesus Christ, John, what is going
on? You're killing it today.
Yeah,
you didn't say. You said it looks like Rambo, but it doesn't look like Rambo's headband at all. It's not red. Number one. Number two. What does it say?
It says thick.
Yeah, it says thick. All right. So today, since we're talking about Astra Militarum, I have to cover probably one of my favorite characters in the Astra Militarum lore, which is Sly Marbo. Yeah, and probably all the lore, honestly. Very few characters come close to this man's aura, I think the kids like to call it. Yeah. Is that
the Riz?
No, not the Riz. The aura.
No, what are you talking about? He's rizzed up Farseers, he's rizzed up Chaos
He
Gods.
He is very so think about all 80s action movies, and like you have like your yoked protagonist. Like this guy is a combination of Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Chuck Norris. You know, like it definitely takes a ton of inspiration from Rambo. Essentially, he's a Catachan who is one of the most prolific fighters known to man. There's actually a story that I have for you specifically, Kyle. Drukhari raided a Catachan outpost, and whenever the relief force arrived, there were a bunch of slaughtered Catachan, but Sly Marbo was surrounded by dead Drukhari with an Archon's head on a spike.
Yeah, that's bullcrap.
Which, if you know about Archons and that 2-up save, that's pretty crazy. You know. But he
is the first Chaos God.
Yeah, he super stealthy. He took a lot of inspiration from Rambo. This is the guy that everyone wishes they were, but definitely are not. The community really likes making jokes for him. They're basically Chuck Norris jokes, but one of my favorites is Sly Marbo threw a grenade at 5 orcs and they died, and then it exploded.
Just so stupid, dude.
Very good. But no, he's somebody that he's basically
That was
like
a
an
good one.
elite
I like
covert.
that.
Yeah, they compare him to actually the Vindicar assassins with how skilled he is. When he's not on mission, he's just kind of brooding and waiting to kill things. It says in the lore that he killed the Tyranid lictors like for sport, which if you know about the lictors, they're like the super stealthy Tyranid, and him hunting the super stealthy unit is pretty. This dude's pretty big.
Sounds pretty healthy. It's a healthy lifestyle. Just
He's a very cool dude. So I got my headband on in honor of Sly Marbo and the Asher Militarum because he is a.
what did I just do?
What'd you do?
God damn it!
Don't
No!
do it, dude.
What the fuck? I just messed up. No! Oh my god.
Uh-oh.
Well, just keep going. I'll fix this. For fuck's sake.
Okay, I got a couple other Sly Marbo jokes. So if at
Yes.
first you don't succeed, you're not Sly Marbo.
That's fair.
The
Oh my
official
God.
name for an exterminatus is Sly Marbo. Body armor wears Sly Marbo for protection.
I can't believe. Okay, we're good now. Sorry. I can't believe I just pressed buttons. Like I
Sly
said.
Marbo doesn't shower.
Oh
He takes
god.
blood baths.
That's-
Okay, we're done. We're done.
All right. Cool. Awesome. Love the thick thing that you got there on your head, dude.
Yeah, we're
good little
really doing it up for Sly Marbo right now.
So Kody, I know we wanted to discuss the meta and kind of what's going on. So I have the screen pulled up right now for some of the more recent events, starting with Dark Sphere. So I will let you take it away.
Yeah, I think as a quick disclaimer, most tournaments this past weekend, from my understanding, if not almost all of them, did not have the new Adeptus Mechanicus. Oh my god, I'm having a word vomit as well.
All of us, dude.
It's one of those days. Astra Militarum, Imperial Guard, in layman's terms, they didn't have them in their new codex live for these metas, so expect the meta to shift a little bit because they're gonna kind of spice up the meta. The only real like Imperial Guard that you're gonna see that does well in the current meta up until the new codex is gonna be the Bridgehead, which does really well. Obviously, you can see right at the top of your screen, it won the most recent tournament, or the biggest tournament this past weekend. Not a huge turnout, honestly. The biggest tournament of the weekend was 61 players. I think it probably was just a lull. Usually, like I would say, like bigger GTs are going to start around like 80 to 100 people, and then like really big ones, majors and stuff, are going to be way beyond that, obviously. But 61, it's still a pretty sizable sample pool. But we can kind of extrapolate a lot of good stuff from it. I love to see that orcs are still doing super well with the War Horde. I think War Horde is a really, really good spot right now. When we get to the actual stats down at the bottom, I think that in the right players' hands, they are really, really good. I think that they're still way better than Tactical, which you actually see. The Tactical Brigade for orcs is still in that same list. They placed 12th at that tournament. But also, you'll see that Death Watch is still doing super well. The new Death Watch, they're going to be doing well for a while, I think, until a big balance data slate comes out. And even then, I can't imagine them getting nerfed too much because I actually don't think that they're broken or anything. I think they're strong, and in the right players' hands, they're like extra strong, as we know from LVO. But outside of that, I don't think that they're broken by any means. You're only going to see a very small amount of players even playing them to begin with, and then of that, only a couple players are going to do well with them. So I can't imagine they're going to get nerfed or anything. I think the Spear Council, I'm assuming that's the Seer. I'm assuming
Yeah.
that's the Spear Council, like or is that
That
um
I believe that's the one that does
the Wraith
the
Guard
no.
or the Spear Seers?
Hold on, let me look it up. I'm fairly certain that's the one that does the old school style.
Fate Dice.
Yeah, Fate dice.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's actually extremely interesting that that plays fifth. I don't
Right?
think that that is anywhere near their strongest attachment. I think
Not
Aspect
optimal.
Host is, yeah, exactly. I think maybe it just kind of caught people off guard and pulled a couple wins out. Maybe I don't know how close the wins were. The wins could have been really close. It could have been just good matchups. I just can't see that list doing really well in longer tournaments. Um, for all we know, he could have gone like 5-2 with it if he played two more games, or maybe even worse, 4-3. But I
Well,
mean, I
I
think
mean
it's really interesting to see that.
it's not terrible.
No, no, it's not.
it's the Strands of Fate, but that's the one where I'm sure you know, but just in case anybody watching, they took Strands of Fate and they really dumbed it down where there's your rolls are specific to a stratagem that you can use your Fate dice. You can use those stratagems for free. So I mean, they've got some good stuff in there. So, my favorite is right now anyway is the Wind Rider detachment. And I don't know. I've seen people talking about it, and I'm not trying to go into it. I'm not trying to take over anything right now, but that Wind Rider detachment, man, there's some stuff in a little bit after Cody's done. After we're kind of done going through this, I've got a list that I wanted to talk about and run through and see what you thought, and super excited about it. But anyway, keep going. My bad.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to touch too much on like tons of lists in each of the tournaments. I think like top five is probably more appropriate. I mean, a lot of people went 4-1, all the way down to the Tactical Brigade Orcs, all the way up to obviously the Warhorde Orcs. There's like what's that? 10 players went 4-1 with a variety of different factions. I think that if you look is a very healthy spread of basically four necks or like players. I think that's super super good to see like such a variety there. I love that. Death Guard is obviously playing Plague Company, which is the OG.
Jesus Christ.
Hallows Creed is what is often considered to be the best AdMech list right now. Tyranid Invasion Swarm considered to be the best Tyranid detachment right now for various reasons. Blood Angels are going to be strong for a while. I think that they have one of the highest win rates right now.
Dude, look at Custodes, man. They're just crushing it.
Yeah, that's the Shield Host one right there. I think that's probably
Well, I
yeah.
don't.
Okay, so the Shield Host is the surprising one in this because the new detachment, which is the Solar Spearhead, I think is what its actually full name. Solar yeah, I think it's Solar Spearhead, something like that. It's the one for all of the dreadnoughts. That one's super strong, and you'll see when we go down to a tournament a little bit further north and or south, north in the world, south on the on the list. Out of Norway, had two players go 5-0 with the Solar Spearhead detachment.
Yeah.
Before I make a fool out of myself, let me make sure that's what it's called. uh,
Yeah, and that's
it's,
something I've been wanting to look at. I actually tried to pull them up the other day, and I'm like, oh
oh, I'm
yeah,
right.
I don't own the codex, so I need to find that bad boy.
Yes,
Chad
Solar
guy,
Spearhead. It's one of the Grotmis attachments.
I do not eat peanut butter out of the jar with my finger, bro. I use a spoon.
Yes, he eats it out with his tongue. He's right. He doesn't use a spoon. He just licks it out, just kind of like a lizard.
Wah, wah, wah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Oh man, I could say a lot with that sound, but I'm not going to.
Blah, blah, blah.
Good to see. I like Blood Angels getting third with Angelic Host. I like that's the new one, right? That's the
The Grotmis one? Or
yeah.
no, that's from the new book.
Is it okay? I like the
Oh wait.
Grotmus one. I thought that was fun. We had covered it actually before you started coming on here.
Yeah, yeah. That's the isn't that the one that's around the Sanguinor or whatever? The
Yeah,
whole detachment built on him.
yeah. It's I love it. I think it's awesome. But I'm at
Yeah, angelic
Okanos.
inheritors.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. Inheritors. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at Akanos Rising, which is the one where Custodes took 5-0 on the top two. I'm looking at I don't know if you're following along on screen or not, but I'm at looking at
Oh,
Warzone
I see. Oh
Wellington.
no, cool. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Oh, you moved on past the Norway
Look at
tournament. Yeah.
this. Imperial Agents getting 5-0.
Yeah, that's
That's
crazy.
wild.
But hang on, it's the Imperial fleet list, right?
It
It's
is.
fleet.
I don't
Yeah.
know
Okay.
anything about it. I just know Imperial Agents have
All right.
not been doing good,
They
obviously.
have arguably one of
No,
the best,
God!
if not the best, single
No, God,
enhancement in the
please,
game.
no!
Or sorry, not
No!
enhancement, stratagem.
No!
Of all codex, of
No!
all detachments in the game, they arguably have the best in stratagem. Let me just read this bad boy to you real quick.
Look at Bridgehead is just everywhere, dude. It's fucking.
Yeah, it's frustrating. All right, here's the book. Me and my brother were working on an Imperial fleet list for him. All right, it's called Displacer Field. So there's a lot of ways to use this. There's a lot of ways you could use this, but the most common one was before where people were playing like a Watchmaster with a bunch of Death Watch or other options, but it was most common with like a Death Watch kill team with a Watchmaster from the Imperial Fleet, or sorry, the Imperial Agents Codex, not from the Death Watch Codex or Index rather. But the Displacer Field stratagem, what it does is for only a single CP, it's in your opponent's shooting phase after they have selected the targets for the attack.
7 hours later.
You pick an Agents of the Imperium character that's not an assassin. But the important thing about that is it can be a character that's in a unit. So you pick your whole unit, the Watchmaster and the Death Watch. And after the attacks have been made, until the end of the phase, all of them get a 4-up invul in that squad, so they can withstand that attack better. But they also get an entirely 6-inch movement and can ignore models as if they have fly.
Oh man.
They literally teleport 6 inches after you shoot them, and they have a 4-up invul for the rest of the phase.
Wow.
For
That's
only a
pretty
single
wild.
CP.
In the books, the displacer field, whenever you get shot at, it moves you, but sometimes it can move you inside of walls and kill you. So it's a lot less cool than that in the books. They're a little more random.
Real quick, congrats on the bomb ass baked potato, Vicious. That is exciting news. I'm glad to hear it. The other thing too is I just wanted to say real quick, thank you to everybody. This is our I didn't realize it, but it's our I think they call it a stream anniversary. I think.
Hey yo.
It's our affiliate anniversary, and we've come a long way pretty quickly, and I definitely appreciate everybody coming along the ride with us, and hopefully we keep doing more stuff and bringing you guys more opportunities to make fun of us while we play horror video games and scaring the shit out of us by playing stupid sounds while we're doing it, and while we're trying to stumble over our words, as Chad Guy has recently put in, saying 7 hours later while we were doing that. But no, I really appreciate everybody. Just want to throw that out there really quick. And also wanted to say that this information that we're looking at is brought to you by Meta Monday. We did not do this ourselves.
I can't believe you've done this.
True.
We did not do this ourselves.
It's Meta Monday. Hats off.
Yeah.
It's an incredible resource. I've been looking at this for at least a year, maybe longer. 2 years now I've been following this.
Yeah. I mean, and this dude's just doing it because he's doing it. So good on that
Jim
guy.
said, whose stream is this? John's? He looks like a big deal. It's because they got the headband on.
Yeah, it's the headband.
Yeah, hats are for low tier nerds.
Yeah, whatever.
Headbands are for chads.
I just want to say this for a quick second though, because we were talking about the Agents of the Imperium. There was nearly 400 players this past weekend that played across the world. And by the way, usually the tournaments that are followed for Meta Monday and just for the meta in general are like 20 or more player tournaments. 20 is like the cutoff. So that's why when you get to the bottom, you'll see that there's 2 tournaments at like 21, because anything under that is excluded for data because the sample size is too small. You can't get a lot of good information from it. One player plays 2 games against his buddies and wins them, and then that just skews all the data. So the interesting thing about that is Imperial Agents had 3 players total across the entire world out of 400 people who played 20 or more player tournaments this weekend.
It is pretty crazy that this Imperial guy took this 5-0. I mean, it's 44 players, not huge, but still, that's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, he's the only player who went like X and 1 or X and O, which means that the other players lost at least 40% of their games or more. That's so they're bringing down the whole ranking, the whole win rate, but still, I mean, yeah, hats off.
Yeah,
That's the
love that.
Johns of the group,
but
bringing it down.
It just goes to show you, even like bad armies or armies that just aren't in the meta can still do well when piloted by the right person.
oh yeah,
And sometimes against the right people.
yeah, that's a thing too. Yeah, matchups are a real thing. Sometimes you just get like 2 bad matchups, even though
Hmm.
or bad dice rolls are a thing too, as we know on this channel all too well.
Well, I don't know anybody
but
that rolls ones.
Forge Fire Whiner open, Bridgehead again. Bridgehead, dude, it is so all just everywhere. It's in every freaking
Yeah.
and it's like reliably top 8. It's pretty crazy. Necrons also, they're doing really well. Custodies are everywhere.
Yeah. You know what? It's interesting though is I feel like Bridgehead also is very match dependent because I just don't see it doing. I think Bridgehead is part of why Custodes are doing so well because every single thing in the Custodes book is 2-up armor save, and Bridgehead doesn't do well into an army of 2-up armor saves. It does well into armies that have some 2-up armor saves. Like if you have a Terminator squad in your list or something, it does fine into your army, but it doesn't have quite the AP it needs to punch through an entire 2,000 points of 2-up armor saves. So I could see why Custodes are also doing really well. Because if I bet you Bridgehead had the most players of any detachment, I would not be surprised.
Um,
Am I wrong?
that
They had
Bridgehead.
21 guard players. Orcs had slightly more.
I hate that we're not
Custodes actually
seeing.
had slightly more.
There's a few of these Aeldari ones that haven't had what detachment they're taking because I have not seen. I keep seeing hosts and I keep
They're
seeing
all real space. Okay, here you go.
no.
So, oh, I forgot. Yeah. Okay, so they have 7 players who played Sky Splinter Assault, and 5 players who plays Reaper's Wager. 12 players total for Drukhari.
Oh no, I was talking about Aeldari.
Oh.
I didn't see any Drukhari players here.
That's because none of them ended top 10.
None of them. What? What?
None of them ended top 10.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, yeah. Oh God, we're in the same category as sisters right now, which is no bueno. I wonder. I'm assuming that the I'm going to attribute this to Imperial Guard for sure. Drukhari just struggles against Imperial Guard no matter what. There's just so much shooting, so much shooting, and you could say it's not as Drukhari is so roll of the dice. You know what I mean? Like it's a 50-50 a lot of times, unless you've got some wonky lists where you've got like a bunch of freaking beasts and shit like that. But anyway, I digress.
If you want to scroll down a little bit further to the table, we can go over Eldari's results for the weekend with the new codex.
Windrider, they've had 1 player, right? That's the players.
I like that you go straight towards that.
Yeah, dude,
He's very
the whole
interested.
table of stuff you skipped before that to get there.
Because, dude, wait,
Hyper-focused.
hold on. I'm excited that nobody's playing it because I think that people are really overlooking it, and I want, like, I know how we're gonna move into Imperial Guard here, but like, well, Astra Militarum, excuse me. But like, as excited as you are probably to talk about Astra Militarum, like I'm probably more excited to talk about Windrider just because I think they're gonna be so good if you play them right.
I will say that I think Eldar right now are a far more interesting codex than Imperial Guard. I think the Imperial Guard's got some cool stuff, but it doesn't feel stylistically that much different than it was. And I don't think that you're going to be seeing a lot of different lists. Maybe it's not going to be seeing as much Bridgehead, but you're going to see 2 styles of guard lists. You're going to see the tank armor heavy list, and then you're gonna see the infantry heavy list.
I'm,
But
I fucking Chad guy, man. This dude's just talking trash the entire time. Woke up choosing violence. So true.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, uh, yeah. Sorry, I know I just totally threw us off track there, but keep going, man. We're
He
all
did
no,
ADD.
compare
no,
you to Joe. He did
no
compare you
worries.
to Joe Rogan, though, so
What
that's good.
that I'm a
Professional,
yapper. Yeah.
Yeah, but he
but a
said Joe
professional
Rogan
one.
is a professional one too. Yeah.
Uh,
So just to touch on the Eldari, I guess stats, right? So obviously the Seer Council, those stats are heavily skewed, right?
super.
Because
Yeah,
only
there's
two
only two
players played
players.
them.
Yep.
But more importantly, both of those players went X and O or X and one, which is huge. They had a 75% win rate across the two of them. I mean, that's big.
Mm-hmm.
Warhost, which is what I suspect will be the like go-to list after Aspect Host gets nerfed. If you look at the win rates there, like Aspect Host is 62%. Totally expected that. I thought it would actually be slightly higher. 8 of the players played Aspect Host. I have a feeling it's just some of the players kind of are dragging that win rate down, to be honest, because I think it's a much better list than that. I think it's probably like a when the right players are playing it, I see like 75% win rate. So I think it'll probably average out after a few weeks. Like 7 week win rate for that list, if it doesn't get nerfed, will be like 66% probably. Warhost, I suspect to be a little above 50%, like around like 52, and it's going to be their best attachment once Aspect Host gets nerfed. And then the rest of those win rates don't surprise me at all, averaging out
Yeah.
the total Eldari win rate.
Look at Ghost of the Webway. 3 with a 29%, bro. That's
Yeah. You know what's really surprising to me, which is probably just because of the person who played it, because only one player played Spirit Conclave. I don't think Spirit Conclave is that bad. Not a 20% win rate bad.
so. I've never been a. I think they used to call it "You Need" back in the day, which
Yeah.
is the. Oh my god, which is the Spirit Conclave people. I don't remember what. I can't think of the name of them right now. All the
Words.
damn. Oh, the Wraith. Jesus Christ, like a Wraith host.
Yeah, yeah,
Never been a
yeah.
big fan of it. So I did not even really look too deep into what Spirit Conclave even does. I'll take a look at it, obviously, but
Yeah,
um,
it's kind of a neat cross between basically, honestly, Eldar Wraithguard and Votan is basically what it is
oh
from
yeah,
the cross.
yeah, that's right,
And,
that's right. When something dies, they get a
mm,
token on it, and then you can get
yeah,
little benefits from it.
also want to hit and wound and stuff, and they themselves get like battle focus and access to all the rules as long as they're near a psyker and stuff. It's really good because they're all Terminators for pretty cheap. You can easily run like 45 Wraith constructs and still have Wraith Lords and all the characters to lead them, and that's totally within 2,000 points. And they're all
Yeah,
like 3 win bodies, T6, 2 up armor save. They're good.
I am going to stick with my bikes because I'm a little bike nerd. Always been a bike
Little
nerd.
little bike boy.
I guess
Vicious,
we can.
vicious say Kyle blue screening. Yeah, no, my today has been a long day, and my hard drive is definitely not working properly right now. Needs to be rebooted. But yeah, we can quickly go through some of this stuff so we can get to what I know you're wanting to get into.
Yeah,
Um,
just I guess it's really quickly interesting stuff. Star Shatter Arsenal for Necron, 60% overall win rate. Um, that's a little surprising to me, to be honest, because I don't think it scores very well. But it was across only 5 players, so it's a little misleading.
yeah, but it true, but what I don't like about Star Shatter playing against it, and this is coming from a person that plays mostly toughness 3, it
Mhm.
really it hurts you
Blows you
for
off the
playing.
table.
Yeah, well, I mean that, but it also punishes you for playing the game because they get
hmm
bonuses for being on objectives. So like trying to hold anything is kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah. I think it's disappointing to see that, but not. I mean, not. It's to be expected. The new Imperial Knights detachment is garbage, so no one played it. All 17 players played the original detachment. Um, it's interesting to see. I think Space Wolves are not doing the best at that win rate, and it's kind of close to what their recent win rate's been. Um, AdMech is very interesting. I cannot believe the win rate of cohort Cybernetica. That's shocking to me. I just went 3-0 at a RTT with this exact attachment, so I don't know what happened in that guy's game because one player played it. Don't know how he went 27% win rate with an army of T9 205 ups. Um,
Bad
Hell's
matchups,
Creed
dude.
47% win rate there is surprising to me as well. I mean, yeah, for sure, definitely bad matchups. A buddy was hoping to match up against me in my last tournament because he was running the Drukhari list I told you about. He had like 27 Dark Lances or something,
Yeah.
so he really wanted to play me. But Hallow's Creed is considered to be the best attachment for um AdMech, and it is not performing. Didn't perform very well this weekend. I would say 47% rates means that they'll probably get a buff, points buff at least. Um, Tau also 47% weight across the faction. Montcaw did very well, 50% win rate across 7 players. That's pretty solid, I would say. They're definitely like lifting up the faction as a whole. I think the other detachments need a little help. They're a little boost. They're just not super strong in the current meta. CSM, I'm gonna skip Dark Angels. No one cares about them.
Yeah, get rid of those
Uh,
guys.
Yeah. Screw
uh,
those 16
I
players.
actually, to do a favor for a buddy of mine, there is a interesting Dark Angels detachment that I think that people should look into and try. It's the new like librarian detachment from from regular Space Marines, but you run it as Dark Angels, and you put a librarian and Terminator armor in a bunch of units of Deathwing Knights. So in the first turn, you have 3 Deathwing Knight units that move 7 inches because they're in the Biomancy discipline, and one of them has advance and charge.
Mm.
So you just haul ass across the board with Deathwing Knights with a librarian, and then in once after that turn, you're in divination for the rest of the game, which gives you reroll ones to hit and wound. So each model has like 5 attacks, which is pretty much means you're gonna get 25 hits. Or 4 models have the mace. The other one, the character has like a sword, but the 4 models with a mace, that's like 20 hits, and then depending on what you're fighting, it's gonna be like 15 wounds or 14 wounds or something, no matter what you're fighting, because it has anti-monster, anti-vehicle 4 up and the reroll ones. It's so good. It's really a pain in the ass, and they're so hard to kill. And when they're on you on like turn 2, see the weakness of Deathwing Knights is normally they're so slow, but with this, with the extra movement they get in turn 1, and they're just advancing up the board, you like can't stop them from being in combat with you on turn 2. So anyway, I just had to touch on it. My buddy's been trying to play it at RTTs and stuff, so I figured I'd touch it. But
Yeah, that's
um,
actually something we were talking about wanting to do in the future. Sorry, that I was talking about. We didn't touch on it, but something I like to do is kind of go over armies that have those kinds of mechanics in them. You know, where you can get that much extra movement. You know, where you're getting like that 7 inches and then advance and charge, and like basically anything that if you're going to a tournament, things to look out for, kind of, like and also like how to ask like your opponent questions, on what to look out for. You know what I mean? My brain's a little scattered right now, but I there was something that I was talking about. Oh yeah, and my thoughts went to this because of, not to bring it up again, but the movement shenanigans that Eldar have right now.
Wind
Like,
Rider host, here we
yeah,
go.
yeah. But those are the types of things, you know what I mean? Like, because there's a little cheap trick you can do that you get a ton of movement, and it's like, I think it would be a good little video to put out where we kind of break down like all the armies that have these types of crazy little gotcha moments, you know what I mean, and what to look out for.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
Chaos Space Marine's not looking too good at a 45% win rate
No,
overall.
but let's touch on like Biles of Creation. Like that's like probably their best army right now. It's won GTs and stuff. It's really, really, really strong. So don't let that win rate fool you. In the right player's hands, as usual, it can easily be super strong. I'm actually really shocked to see that it doesn't have any X and O's or X and ones. That's the most surprising thing about that. But I'm assuming that the players who are really strong with it just didn't play it this weekend or playing other armies. Renegade Raiders is also a solid detachment for them as well. Pac Benzels will always be okay. Felhammer Sea Host, okay. Let's skip the last one. What we
That's the
got?
best one. Deceptors, like the Decepticons.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Decepticons.
It's
I
a
like those
They're
guys.
playing for your opponent.
M. Night Shyamalan.
What?
No, it's actually Michael.
Um,
It's Michael Bay.
I was like, what are you
I
talking
wanted
about?
I wanted to say M. Night Shyamalan because I like his name better than Michael Bay. Okay.
We always call him Shamalama Ding Dong. That's
Shyamalan.
Um, Tyranids, I love to see the success of Assimilation Swarm. It got a huge buff in the last balanced data slate, like gigantic buff. And I think people are still experimenting with its possibilities. Yeah, it's just really good. It out heals most armies. And it doesn't do a ton of damage, but it just you can't get rid of it. The whole army is like regenerating wounds. It's super high toughness. Like you can run like a hive tyrant, or the swarm lord, for example. You can run the swarm lord with 6 tyrant guard and get 2 dead tyrant guard back per turn, and 3 in some cases.
so it's like a Tyranid. It's like a monster Necron list.
Yes,
That's
yes.
dude.
When you have like Norn assimilators sitting on objectives with like a 4-up invul and a 5-up feel no pain, and they're healing D3+1 wounds per turn, right? Like you can't.
That
You
sounds
just
frustrating
can't.
as fuck, dude. I would I would not want to deal with that.
I think it's a really cool list. I think it's very slow and boring to place, which is why I think people won't play it. But I think if you have like the attitude of like wanting to like we are every single game we play is going to go to round 4 and end because we're going to run out of time because I'm going to have all 20 of my activations every single turn because you're not going to kill anything from my army. I'm not going to kill a ton from your army, but I'm going to have 20 activations every single movement phase, 20 activations every single command phase because I have to heal it all, 20 activations every single shooting phase.
Yeah, that
Right?
sounds like a nightmare.
But you're never going to die. It's like what Necrons sometimes try to be, in my opinion. It's better.
Yeah.
Moving on, Grey Knights. I think that the Warpbane Task Force is really good. I played a guy recently with it. It can be really strong. It's super solid. The Teleport Strike Force 0%. I think there's clearly an issue there. So we'll move on past that. Botan. The fact that I even see people playing Oathband is surprising to me. Because it's like a Terminator list that does worse than the regular list. But the regular one is actually, is it the other way around? Hearthband is the new one? Which one's the new one?
There are 9 players playing Oathband. League.
Oh, that's really surprising that they went 60%, or 23% on the weekend, but 60% like overall with the detachment since it released. Like that's really. Oh no, it's the weekend win rate. Never mind. Yeah, the weekend win rate for that detachment was 60%. That's insane.
I mean, it's only 1 player.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, that's what I'm not reading.
Get a
Yeah.
little bit of
He
skewed
did
there.
well with it. Yeah. Because that detached like look at the 7-week win rate percentage, which is 23. That's more appropriate. The detachment is just nothing compared to Oathband. Someone did well with it. That's means they went like 3-2. Yeah, 3-2 is 60%. So
Quick math.
Chaos Knights, that's
Quick math.
disappointing. Low win rate. World Eaters, Drukari, all these low win rates down here are really sad, depressing. I think Chaos Knights, I just can't imagine why they're so bad right now. Like, I don't think they're that bad. I think they got a healthy buff and they got lower win rate after getting their buff. Their win rate literally went down after getting buffed.
Look at Righteous Crusaders there for Black Templars at a 20% for the weekend. It's only 2 players, but that's still. I'm telling you, man, it's that Astromil. It's Astromilitarum, dude. It's that freaking
The Bridgehead.
the Bridgehead, dude.
Well, Bridgehead does well on the knights, both knights. I mean, if you run a big knight, Bridgehead just eats up a single big knight. You just put so much damage into it for free.
Are you
You
guys
lose 500 points for no reason.
Are you guys looking at the chat?
Yes.
In this economy, I don't know why, but I always think that's I don't know why I think that's so funny. Sorry.
Share my $2 McGriddle in this
What?
economy?
In this economy? That's such a great line for like anything.
To be fair, Chad guy, I feel like lives in a place where McGriddles probably aren't on sale. But where I'm at, I can get a easily 2 for $4 McGriddle.
All right. So, with that being said, we have kind of powered through the old
Meta Monday.
Meta Monday. I know that you would like to talk about the Astromoterm Codex. Let me pull that bad boy up.
Oh my god.
What happened?
Before we do that, Vicious said the
$6.
McGriddles are
What?
$6.
How's that possible?
Vicious does live in a tourist trap location.
New York City? Because that's what
Yeah.
a $6 McGriddles are.
That's outrageous. Yeah, if it's not like 2 for $4 or 2 for $5, I'm not taking part in that.
You know, I had like a heart attack when that McDouble wasn't on the dollar menu anymore.
Yeah, now it's I think it's 2 for $3.39 where I live at least,
Mm-hmm.
which is still not a deal, but it's a deal compared to everything else. But I remember McDoubles being $1. It's so sad.
They
You
were
sound
I
like
love
such a
McDoubles, dude.
when I was coming out of high school, like I remember being 18, like getting out of like school or whatever. Me and my buddies would go to McDonald's and get like 5 McDoubles each because they were $1 each. That was the
dude.
life.
I
Yeah,
And I had a
survived.
gut that could churn that.
So
could have normal poops afterwards.
when I was coming up down here, when I first moved to South Kakalaki and I was on my own, I actually lived out of my car for a while. So I was like kind of homeless. Uh Frickin' I lived off of Taco Bell for a long, long time because Taco Bell used to be like $1 a frickin' like for it wasn't even $1, it was like 80 cents for a taco.
Yeah, 99 cent for the hard shell, soft shells.
Yeah.
That's what it used to be.
So I used to
I
just
worked at a I worked at a gym that was right across from a Taco Bell. I have eaten everything on their menu.
it does not surprise me that you would know the price. Just
Yeah,
throwing that out
the cheesy Fiesta potatoes
there.
that almost nobody knows about used to be like 89 cents, and they were so good. You have potatoes. It's basically hash like kind of like hash brown style potatoes with like cream cheese and cheese, and then I think they throw like chives on it. Now it might be a little different, but it was good.
As exciting as that is, uh,
Dude, don't get me started on the Taco Bell
ADHD.
menu.
we're sitting here going over prices for fucking tacos back in the day. Anyway, all
Glory
right.
days.
So I have the codex pulled up here. Just scrolling through some of this beautiful scenery with the gross and stupid Tyranids that nobody likes. I will say, I'm not an Astra Militarum fan, but it is very cool. I'm going to say Imperial Guard. You know what? I'm not doing it. I'm bringing Imperial Guard back. Looking at the Imperial Guard, like, it is cool to see all the little guys here. You know what I mean? Like, the kid inside of me, the G.I. Joe kid inside of me gets a little excited when I see this. But anyway, well,
It does look very. I really like when people lay out their armies and then have like a backdrop for it.
I'm probably giving everybody.
Man, that shadow sword in the back is about to get messed up by those Trigo.
It's about to have a bad time.
All right. That's Combat Patrol. Damn.
They're almost there. 72, page 72, I think it said.
All right. Combined arms. Let's do it.
I guess really quick.
Are you want to go through all these, or do you want to talk about the
No,
main
I'll
ones
just
that
touch
you
on
want to
them.
talk about?
Yeah, I think we should just touch on them really quick. Just as a disclaimer for anyone who doesn't know how Imperial Guard works. They have models with the officer keyword. They give orders to units. On their data sheet, it dictates how many units they can give orders to. The orders are move, 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 which gives the unit +3 inches to movement, which can be really valuable. fixed bayonets, which is +1 to hit and melee, so +1 weapon skill. Take aim, which is +1 ballistic skill. First rank, second rank fire, which is +1 attack to rapid fire weapons. So if you have like a rapid fire 1 lasgun, which lasguns are, they're one shot rapid fire 1, it'll be rapid fire 2. So at half range, you would shoot 3 shots with that gun, which is what kind of Bridgehead is predicated on almost. Take cover, which is a really cool one. Specifically says improve the save characteristic of models in this unit by 1. This cannot improve the model's save, but better than a 3-up. But it's very important to understand what that is saying. So if you have a 4-up armor save, it moves you to a 3-up, and then you would add 1 to the save for the purposes of cover. So you could get a 2-up with this in the right circumstances. It'd have to be, well, effectively a 2-up. It still would be a 3-up because it would have to be an AP1 weapon, but you could have a 3-up against an AP1 weapon so long as you're on cover with that, which is really solid. And then Duty and Honor gives you +1 leadership and +1 OC. This is also something to be very clear about, is that if you are battle shocked, now you do lose your orders. There's certain circumstances and stuff where if you're battle shocked, you lose your orders. But anytime you have a plus to OC, a banner, for example, or I'm sure there's units in almost every book that increases the OC of a unit. If you are ever battle shocked, it reduces you to 0. Right? That is considered a division modifier. Therefore, the bonus to your OC comes after being reduced to 0.
Okay, so I've actually had discussions about this in the past, and to me, like as worded, it felt like, and we were just playing a friendly game, and we were kind of just going over rules and stuff like that. And my opponent, I don't remember who it was making the argument that you're making right now. And to me, like battle shocked is like, well, it's 0, so that means it's 0. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the idea of like setting it to 0, but it's actually the same verbiage that is used when a weapon reduces damage to 0. So, or sorry, when an ability reduces a weapon's damage to 0. For example, right, like the old Rogel Dorn, since we're talking about Imperial Guard, used to have an ability that would say, once per game, when this vehicle is successfully wounded by an attack, you can change that damage characteristic to 0. Right? Which is the wording of Battleshock. Battleshock says change their OC characteristic to 0. Melta was specifically talked about in designer commentary that Melta of let's just say you have a Melta gun, which is +2 Melta quality, right? Or Fire Dragon, which is +3. If you're at half range, that is a additive modifier, because changing a value to 0 is considered the way that you do it mathematically is to divide it by 0. Therefore, it is a division modifier, which means that additive modifiers come afterwards. So if you reduce the damage characteristic of a weapon to 0, or the best example that's currently in the game right now is Satan Shard, who halves all damage. You have a Meltagun. I have a D6 die. I roll a 6. You have it to 3. Then my Melta damage is added at the end. So now my total damage you take is 5, even though you halved it.
So essentially, the OC would be added at the end.
Exactly. The +1 OC. Now, the thing about this is orders. You lose orders if your unit becomes battle shocked. But there are ways around it. Commissars, things like that. There's special rules in the book that gets around that. So I think it's actually Cadians, if I remember right, specifically their ability allows them to. That's their ability. It's either Cadians or another unit. Is it Cadians? At the end of your command phase, sticky. Cadians have sticky. There's a unit, if I remember right, that has that still maintains some OC while they're battle shocked. Things like that. But anyway, we can move on. So Born Soldiers, this is the indexed attachment. We don't really have to spend time on this one. It's almost identical. Oh, actually, if you look right there, by the way, there's kind of an interesting example of where an area where it has a rule about battle shock. But
it's that subtract 1 instead of reducing it to 0. That's actually pretty cool.
which on a squad that all of them are OC2, pretty solid. Um, anyway, but yeah, we can skip this one. This one's pretty much the same as it used to be. There's not a lot that's different.
All right, so Siege. I've definitely been hearing a lot about Siege.
Yeah.
I don't remember if it
This
was
one,
good or bad. I feel like it was bad.
yeah, I think it is bad personally. But I wouldn't be surprised if someone found a way to make it work. I I think it's like a worse version. So the AdMech always had this like rad zone rule where they like did free damage to you in your while you were in your deployment zone, especially in like the first battle rounds. And I think it's kind of like that, but it's a little worse. Like it's designed the artillery support rule, like it's designed to like you get to pick at least, so you have like some flexibility. But honestly, it seems like smoke shells would be like the go-to for the most part, unless you really needed like creeping barrage. And then the incendiary one is just not really good.
Uh, Kody giving your boy the cold shoulder. It's cool. I ain't got that Riz like John and Kyle. What? Oh, hold on.
No, he was asking about a model.
Oh,
The
I'm
Minka
sorry.
Lisk.
Minka Lest.
Yeah.
The new captain, Minka Lest, I guess.
No, I'm not sure.
For
Is it?
Cadia. It sells on eBay for $99. Jesus Christ.
That's wild.
What? Jim, where are you finding this?
What? Why
Minka
would you
left.
ever buy an Imperial Guard model? Is this a and this is a captain, so it's a little person. It's not
Yeah,
even.
for $99? What the
It's like
fuck
it's
is
not even a
going on?
tank.
Wait, is that the one that I showed? No. Was it, what was the model that I saw at Worlds? There was an Imperial Guard model. Was it a commissar? I think it was a commissar.
Is it in the
I'm
codex?
reading her
Here,
lore right now.
yeah, I'm gonna pull up. Let me see if I can find this.
Leontis, Creed.
Lord Solar, also
Oh,
also.
it's in her new book. Okay.
Oh, so it's not a playable thing yet? Is it not a playable thing yet?
There's a model for it.
Is it not a playable thing yet?
I
No,
don't
we
know.
have a delay.
Oh, okay.
Not you, not us, but for him. Yeah, she's playable, I guess, but I don't see any rules for her. So
Yeah, why is that model $99?
because it's probably limited edition or something. You know,
Oh
whatever
my
makes GW more money.
oh my god.
I am looking at all of the things and I don't see it anywhere. It's not even. Why is it not? Yeah. Why is it even in existence?
This is so obscure, Jim. How do you know about? Please let us inform us how you know about this so we can go through the proper
First of all,
Google
he is
channels.
he is uh uh yep. His
Yeah,
name's
he's the
Chad Guy.
thing. This guy right here, this
Moonlighting.
Chad guy.
I was trying to say the word moonlighting and that was not coming out, dude.
Is moonlighting as a Chad?
What does that mean?
You don't know what
Is
moonlighting
that,
means?
is that like highlighting?
Mm-mm. No, moonlighting is when you they used to, so whenever people made moonshine, they would like, you have a job during the day and then a job at night. So like they used to do their regular job and they would be moonlighting selling moonshine at night.
Oh, I
Come
did
on,
not know that.
Mr. Obscure Knowledge History Buff. Like, how do you not know that?
Only history that's not apparently that.
Only history that's 40k history.
Yeah. Sly Marbo.
It's like,
What's her name? Menska Les? Clear.
Yeah.
She's one of Marbo's hoes. So what I understand.
Yeah, she's one of
All right.
Marbo's girls. One of his many ladies.
all right. Anywho, Creeping Barrage. Roll 1d6 for each enemy unit that is more than 12 inches for every model from your army that is on the battlefield on a 5+ until the end of the battle round. That unit is shaken. Subtract 2. That's actually awful for Death Guard.
It can be really good. The problem is that it goes off on a 5-up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Is there any way to do you know if there's any way to improve that? Not that we need to.
So okay.
If you know
No,
offhand, yeah.
No, no, not really. The thing is about it, it's the only valuable part about it is it's every unit that is more than 12 inches. So on the first turn, you can use that and it can potentially just like prevent turn one charges. It can especially advance in charges. You lose so much movement. Um, I mean, you got to remember that like -2 to movement characteristic and subtract 2 from advance and charge rolls. That means if you advance and you roll a 2 or less, you're still moving -2 from your base movement, right? If you're a 7-inch witch, or wait, 8 inches on a movement on a witch, right? 8 inches.
Uh-huh.
If you advance with them and you roll a 2, you're still moving 6 inches total.
Yeah, that's terrible.
It's insane. Now, that's really good if you hit a bunch of stuff with 5-ups. And then, but other than that, you're not going to use it the rest of the game because they're going to be within 12 inches for melee armies anyway. And then the non-melee armies, like it's kind of neat that you can kind of like slow an army down if they don't want to be in melee range. They want us to keep their distance, then you can kind of slow them down. But then once again, it's only on 5-ups. So unless you spike really heavy and just really ruin your opponent's game plan, it's just not going to beat C play.
It'd be
It's not
good
good
against World Eaters, possibly.
Yeah, but remember, it's only 33% of their armies going to get slowed down.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe not the ones you want. So like all the jackals. That's all you roll fives on is just the jackals.
Yeah, and also you get to, it's not like he doesn't know which ones are which because it happens at the start of the battle round. If this happens at the start of his movement phase, then maybe I could see it being a little bit better because then it can be like really frustrating. But yeah, it's just not a lot.
Chad Guy said
Um,
that I don't know if you guys already hit this because I was looking through the codex, but Chad Guy said she's in a command squad. The
a new
the
character.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested to see her rule.
Incendiary bombardment. Select a number of enemy units more than 12 inches from anyone until the end of the battle round. Those enemy units are scattered. While a unit is scattered, it cannot have the benefit of cover maximum number. Okay, so I got excited when it said scattered. I thought maybe they were doing something like what we do in our games, where you can drop down a freaking warp storm and just start fucking moving units around.
Also, look at the bottom thing for number of units. My interpretation of this is incendiary bombardment and smoke shells both applies to this. Only the top one, creeping bombardment, says for each enemy unit is the only one that's different
Mm-hmm.
because they both say select a number. You consult the number from this chart. So incendiary bombardment only picks 3 units to strip cover, and smoke shells selects 3 to give stealth.
Yep. Maximum. Those units have the stealth ability. Yeah. Uh, I
It's
just don't
okay.
feel like this is not. It's not very artillery.
Yeah, it's not.
You know what I mean?
Doesn't give the artillery vibes.
Like
You know what
No.
I'm saying?
to me, I think this should have been a detachment that like gives benefits, like serious benefits to indirect fire weapons,
Yeah.
incentivizing you to play an
Yeah.
army
One
events
hundred
instead of
percent.
indirect.
Because it's fucking artillery.
Like if you
No, no,
literally if
no.
it literally said the only rule it needs to have detachment is if like you're so right now indirect weapons automatically miss on 1s, 2s, and 3s. Just get rid of that. Like that's what the detachment rule needs to somehow say. You no longer automatically miss on unmodified rolls of 1, 2, and 3. If it says that, I think it's a real detachment that people would play.
Yeah. You should have like 3 units that can shoot non-LOS at your regular ballistic and +1 AP or something. That would have been
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
You
Um.
start seeing triple basilisk and who knows. All right,
So
next.
no, you gotta ban him. Jim or Chad, ban him. Ban the. Oh wait, Chad guy doesn't have. Never mind.
I could ban him.
Uh,
Ban.
mechanized
Mm,
assault. Each time an Astro military model from your army makes a range attack, in a turn in which it disembarked from a transport, add 1 of the wound roll. That's really good.
yeah, this is super solid. This is what I think a lot of people think is going to be the best attachment. And just for Chad guy, I'll explain something that he was really excited about. So there's a lot of transport, specifically Tarox, right? You could take a regular Tarox, and the Tarox's rule is it can have like 12 troops in it, or 12 infantry models in it, and it can advance. And then the models can still get out and act as just as if they made a normal move. They can't charge though, but they can still like shoot basically. Um, it doesn't even count as advancing for them, which is super solid because you get a lot of movement. If you put Casterkins in it, if that's how you properly say it, but um, I think some people say like Karskins, but if you like, I say Casterkins.
Kazerkins.
Kazerkins. Okay,
That's what I think I've heard in like
real life.
the reading, like the book readings, the audiobooks.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you're reading a book, you're gonna. Anyway, going on.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
they come with the stealth. Oh, the Scout 6 inches special rule, and the rules say that if every unit model in your unit that's inside of the transport has the Scout rule, then the vehicle the transport gets Scout. So you can scout the Tarok 6 inches at the start of the game, and obviously you get to do that after you know if you're going first or second. So you have it on the deployment line. If you're going second, you move it back behind a wall. If you're going first, you scout 6 inches forward. You then drive it. It's 12 and an advance of 3 or 4 inches. So now you've already moved 18 plus 3 or 4. So you're moving like 21, 22 inches. And then you bail your Karskins out 3 inches from that. And then they hit them with this rule right here, which is +1 to wounds with all of their special weapons because they're like special forces type units.
The smoke grenades thing is pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you're getting out to shoot. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it does make a parking lot situation. It seems like, but because you always want to be around, like you need to have a bunch of transports, especially since they're going to get popped. So you know that you need to have enough to be able to do the things you want to
Mm-hmm.
do.
What's really interesting about this rule is this is the rule that kind of makes Bridgehead really good. It's the +1 to wound at a deep strike. And now you're giving it to a bunch of stuff getting out of vehicles, specifically Gasterkins, which is
When you were
arguably better.
when you were talking about that little thing that you were talking about where you can scout,
Mm-hmm.
did you talk about putting Vanguard honors in there?
No, I wasn't referencing that. Let me just
Okay,
read
so
that
the
over.
bearer's unit can disembark from a transport after it had advanced.
Okay, yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the actual Tarox's ability.
Right? No,
So
no, no.
Tarox's
I was
ability
just
is that
adding
same
to
thing.
it. Oh, they can get out after they advance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
I thought, sorry, I thought the ability was that they
From
could
this.
scout. Yeah, yeah.
Oh no, so the Casterkins, yeah, I think it's Casterkin. The Casterkin's core rule is scout 6 inches. As long as all the models in the unit have scout, you don't attach a unit, you don't attach a model that doesn't have it or something to it to get rid of it from all the models. As long as every model has scout, the dedicated transport gains scout as well.
Right. No, I heard that. I didn't hear you talking about it being able to advance and get out and shoot because I was looking at these things because I'm ADD as hell.
Chad Guy asked, "Are the Taroks more meta than the Chimera's or
It is
Chimeras?"
it is in this attachment, I would say.
Yeah.
Vicious just said what with like a little
On
melty
you
face.
on YouTube, it's funny. It doesn't have the melty face, so it says "stinky glitch." What?
So that
I love that.
is there any notable stratagems that you wanted to talk about, or do you want to move on to the next one?
I mean, there's some cool stuff in here, but nothing that's like really like, oh my God, just like, I mean, extra movement for infantry, stuff like that. When you combo it with, okay, so like rapid dispersal is kind of cool. Um, your movement phase after one military infantry unit from your army disembarks from a transport this phase, they can make a normal move of d6 inches, right? You already get out 3. You can get an extra d6 inches. Like that's kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah, the swift interception looks really good. One transport unit from your army that is not within engagement range of enemy units and is within 9 inches of the enemy unit that just ended that move. So basically, it's a you move next to me, I move 6 inches. That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
for the transport, which is pretty cool. So it prevents it from being charged, kind of.
Makes it harder. Yeah. One extra unit.
If you scroll up, if I remember, sorry, the that one you just talked about, I'm pretty sure it says excluding, yeah, excluding Titanic. That's really important because you don't want a Doomhammer or Stormlord transporting 20 Ogren reactive moving away from you or towards you.
Yeah, or towards you. Yeah.
Chad guy asked if the Taurox Prime is
Well, the
trash no
problem
matter what.
the problem with the Taurox Prime is that it only can transport Scions, which already have
Oh,
deep strike. So it's
yeah,
like,
less valuable.
Till the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes an attack that targets a unit within range of an objective marker, you can reroll the hit roll and reroll the wound roll. That's really good.
yeah, it's super good if you combo it with like, oh, getting out of a transport, then you're +1 to wound with reroll hits and wounds. Super
Yeah.
solid.
Yeah.
It's just a good strat.
That's reminiscent of what I was
Um,
dealing with the Star Shatter. They had all
move
kinds of
out.
stupid shit like that.
Yeah, move out's probably the most important strat in the detachment. Um, it's like the get back in your vehicle one.
End of your opponent's turn. Yeah, not
Yeah,
as good as end of the fight phase, but yeah.
no, yeah, not an Eldar strat, but it's still a good
Yeah.
one. But yeah, we can move on.
Hammer of the Emperor detachment rules Iron Tread. Each time a squadron unit from your army advances, do not make an advance roll for it until the end of the phase. Add 6 inches to the movement characteristics of models in that unit. And when making that advance move, that unit can move within engagement range of enemy models, but cannot end that move within engagement range of any model. Okay, so that's it. It allows them to move through models, basically.
Yeah, you can't cage the tanks anymore. That's what this does. This is the tank
Ooh.
detachment. You can't cage the tanks.
That's really, really good.
You know, it can
Bros.
be super good. They do have to advance, so keep that in mind that you're
Sure.
going to be losing the shooting from those models. But if it means like getting on an objective or whatever, there's a lot of play around it, I would say.
Add 3 inches to the OC. Each time a model in this bear's unit makes a range attack, reroll hit roll 1. Not bad. Uh, oh god, these are wordy. They're very
Oh yeah,
wordy.
there.
I hate stratagems that stipulate that your unit has to be below half strength. That shit drives me
Yeah.
crazy. I don't even bother with them half the, like actually not even half the, I literally I don't think I've ever used one that says below half strength.
It just allows you to shoot normal and ignore mods. It's kind of it can be cool if you use it with a like a super heavy who's below half and you wanted to ignore mods. That's what I see the use for because it doesn't say excluding Titanic. So you have a Baneblade, you ignore mods with it. It gives you the ignore mods if your Baneblade is wounded.
Is a Baneblade a squadron unit?
Oh, good point. No, it's not. It does say squadron, doesn't it?
Yep.
Then yeah, then it's literally just like a Lehman Russ. It can't even be officers, so it has to just be like a Lehman Russ or a Dorn who's below half, and then you want him to have ignore mods.
I feel like that's just a waste of paper.
Yeah.
I can't
You're
I
probably
just can't
better
stand that
served
below
just
half.
giving them the ignore mods rule. Like, I don't know why you can't just say ignore mods. Is that too strong?
I uh yeah. Yeah,
Blazing
it's
Advance
Imperial
is
Guard. Fuck them. I can't
Blazing
lie.
Advance is very important. It's the one that synergizes with the detachment rule. That one's super solid. You use
Oh,
it for your Lehman Russ or Dorn who moves through units and then he then can still shoot normal.
yep, you're talking about Blazing Advance, right?
Yep,
Yep.
for sure. That one's synergized with detachment. Next one's okay.
You know, that just
Um,
doesn't and I don't play lists like that, so I just don't know how often this really becomes a problem.
this is the one where it's like you have Angron touching your Dorn. You're not going to kill Angron because most of your weapons are blast, right?
Yeah.
And the ones that aren't going to kill him, so you're going to fall back and then shoot him with everything, including blast. Like it has play, but it's not like going to be something you want to use every turn. If
Chad
your
guy,
army's in combat, then you messed up.
Nickelback, 100%. Do we have the same chair? I don't know. Do we have the same chair?
Did we
I
got
bought
that
mine
thing?
for super cheap, and it's brand new, and it makes all the sounds that it makes, and the arm is falling apart. So I spent like $200 on this chair, and it's already falling apart.
Ooh, mine was 50 on Amazon.
Uh,
Mine was like 150 from China, and it's been doing good for me for a couple of years now.
you know what? Maybe
It's
it wasn't
leather.
200. Now you're making me think, because it looks like you got the same chair I do. Similar, anyway. Uh, it's so easy to get us off topic.
True.
Stop that.
One Astra military vehicle from your unit that has not been selected to move or charges phase until the end of the phase. Each time your unit makes a normal advance or charge move, it can move horizontally through terrain features. That's super useful.
Yeah, move through walls.
Furious Cannonade until the end of the phase. Each time a model in your army makes an attack that targets a unit within 12 inches, improve the AP. I don't know how good that is because I don't know enough about this army to.
Just amplifies damage against the right targets.
Yeah, I just don't know. Like I know my armies, and I know that this might be something I would ignore. Be like, whatever. But I don't know how it is with guard.
Next one's good, but it's also 2 CP, so it's expensive.
On that phase, each time an attack is allocated unit, subtract 1 from the damage. Yep. They're a little disgusting.
This one does not say like squadron units, so you could use that one specifically on a super heavy. That's important to know.
Yeah.
But you're dumping 2 CP to keep your Shadow Sword or Doomhammer or whatever alive.
That might be worth it. Might be.
I think this attachment's kind of cool that you're getting to next.
Recon element. Masters of Camouflage. Astra Militarum Walker and Regiment models from your army have the benefit of cover, while such a model has the benefit of cover for any other reason. Ergo, because it was wholly within a ruin. Improve the save characteristic models and that unit by 1. Okay, so you're getting like a +2 basically.
Yeah.
To a maximum of 3.
I think it's super cool.
Yeah, but that's still really good because if you've got an AP3 weapon, then you're really only, it's like AP1 at that point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you can do take cover for another one, and then you can mitigate an AP3 weapon to AP0. Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I don't know what regiment models are, but I don't know if that.
I mean, it's
tanks.
all the troopers. No. Tanks are squadron, and then regiment are the troops.
Gotcha.
And then Walker is going to be like the Sentinels, which I think have squadron still, if I remember right. But I'll check that in a second. They might not. They might have lost that keyword if that's the case.
Oh, dude,
in fact, Walker, the Sentinels still have regiment and squadron.
I love this type of stuff here. The guerrilla honors. After both players have deployed their armies, if the bearer is on the battlefield, select them. You can redeploy 3 units. I love that type of stuff. Once per battle, you can use this. I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming. Oh, the bears. The bearer has the scouts 6 ability. Yeah. I don't know how good that is.
It's okay. It just allows them to attach to like Casterkins, for example, and not lose the scout ability because every model has to have scout to scout. So it just kind of gives you that.
Tripwires are okay. I don't like 50-50 things. But I guess this one's good. I would feel like if it does, so select one enemy unit within 8 inches of the bear's unit. That unit must make a battle shock test. Oh, once per battle. Yeah. Okay, no.
Yeah, not that good.
No. Anything of value that you want to go over in here?
From the enhancements, not so much. It's mostly just that I think that this attachment is better than people think it is, because it just gives your vehicles that are just charging up the board cover no matter where they are. Your sentinels and your troops. Sorry, not vehicles. It gives your sentinels and troops cover no matter where they are. So if they're sitting in the open on objectives, they're still benefiting from cover, which adds a layer of durability that can't be underestimated. And then there's some decent strats if you go down.
Not against my Wind Rider list. Just throwing that out there.
Is it in your cover?
I put we'll talk about it. I'm too excited to because I'll just start talking about it again. Go ahead.
I think the crack shots is really cool because the platoon unit can get precision for the whole unit.
Just
The
unloading everything onto
entire
one dude.
block, the entire block of
That's
troops
actually
can get it.
that's really funny. I would just
Yeah. You're gonna wrap it. You're gonna first rank, second rank fire las guns at someone's head. Like that's so awesome.
what's funny is they're actually doing, like aesthetically speaking, they're all hitting that one target, so it's like they don't even hit anybody else, which is so not even lore accurate, I think.
Yeah, that's why it's called crack shots.
Yeah, they don't. They're kind of like
I was
stormtroopers.
about to say, I feel like this is a stormtrooper situation.
Yeah, it's not the most. You know.
I mean, it's cool if you use it on Casterkins because I think they're platoon. And if you can't, and if they are, I'll check right now. But if they are, it's super cool because then you can put like melta-guns into into the leader's face.
Ooh.
I just think it's funny to think of an entire block of guardsmen shooting at one dude.
These
One
are
dude.
these are stormtroopers, but like during the Clone Wars era, whenever they had the commandos that were
They're
incompetent.
yeah, they're regiment, but they're not platoon.
They're stormtroopers on Adderall.
Yeah.
But you can put 20. Oh, wait, is it? Oh, it's only shooting phase. I'm saying you can put it on 22 or 20 uh,
Overwatch
catechins
shots.
and their command squad.
Oh, I
Oh,
thought
you
you're.
could do that too. I didn't think about that. That's funny.
No, it's only in your shooting phase.
Kriegsman. Yeah, Kriegsman have platoon.
Your opponent's move
Cadians,
phase
just
is starting.
20 Cadians.
Okay, so they got a couple of these stratagems here in the what's it called, of the
Reactive, yeah.
yeah, the reactive ones. So
That one's
land the
good. A
phase.
reactive move. Love that.
Okay, so scramble fields really that's pretty good.
Yeah, super. I like that one because that's like a reactive one. And as long as you have an infantry unit, you can kind of say like, if you can like the best part about this one is like your opponent draws engage on all fronts or draws behind enemy lines. You can then use this in the reactive step to deny him getting those objectives after he lost the opportunity to re-roll it.
Yeah.
Or
Yep.
you just have troops near like an objective that you're not on and he wants to get like secure. There's so much neat like play with this, I think, that can really swing a game if used properly. This might be a high skill cap strat, but if used right, you could totally ruin a tactical objective player's turn. This
So
one's really good.
What, the courageous diversion?
Mm-hmm.
Your unit has a 6+ feel no pain ability, and each time an enemy unit each time an enemy model makes an attack, if your unit is the closest eligible target, subtract 1 from the hit roll.
It's both a 6 of feel no pain and -1 to hit.
That's you're getting like 2 strats for the price of 1 there. That's pretty good. I mean, 6+
really
feel no
good
pain
strat.
is whatever, but it's something. Until the phase, each time an enemy unit selects your unit as a target of a charge, subtract 2 from the charge roll.
Tanglefoot, yep, super good.
And remove your unit, so uppy downy. That's pretty good. That's but
Yep.
one mounted or walker unit that is wholly within 10 inches of one or more of the battlefield edges. Okay, so they just leave the battlefield.
Yeah, I think this one is just this attachment is just fun. It has some really cool tricks, like really cool scrambler field, tanglefoot. This one you just said the uppy downy, the double strat basically, the reactive move. Like it has all the tricks that exist in the game in one detachment. It just only affects your infantry and walkers and mounted units.
Yeah, and by the way, this Tanglefoot one, Astro term grenades unit from your army. I'm assuming
Which is most units.
Yeah, I was about to say probably most of them. Chad Guy said, "What horror movie killers do you think you can take in a fight from list to no way?" I don't know what that means. What horror movie killers do I think I could take on? Oh man,
And he also said we need to make a horror movie tier list.
we do need to do a tier list for sure. Cody, are you
Yeah.
into
I'm
horror
definitely
movies?
not really, but I'm definitely not afraid of Pennywise.
Yeah, I would beat that
Well,
alien
okay.
up.
So let
I'm
me
not
say
alien. I'm
something.
talking about the clown.
No,
Yeah,
he's
no,
an
he's an
alien.
alien. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
an
he's an
alien.
alien. I mean, spoilers
Well, he's
for
kind of
people
like a
that don't watch it.
celestial beast, actually.
Yeah, he's more like a cosmic horror, but I'd beat his ass.
So
Yeah,
he became a lot less scary when Harry Potter came out with the Boggarts, because now it's just like, oh, it's a Boggart. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Kyle, you
yeah.
suck at reading dyslexic comments. Yes, I do. I am terrible at that. I am actually really bad about not being able to understand sentences that don't have grammar in them.
You sounded like such an asshole when you said that.
Okay, I'm not trying to sound like an asshole. I'm saying it is debilitating. Like, I will have to reread a sentence if there's no commas, because I'll be like, I don't know what's happening right now. Like, it's definitely on me, not anybody else. I'm not saying that as like
This stream is sponsored by Grammarly. Get
Yeah,
your
that guy.
grammar up to par for
That did
whatever I
sound like
pay
a
for it
dick
a month.
comment. I wasn't trying to be a dick. I was trying to say I'm dumb and I can't just
Don't worry,
read.
Jim. I got you.
Shut up, John.
I got you, brother.
So there is a real guard list that I want to play with that detachment that we just talked about. You can start looking at the data sheets. I want to play like 30 Rough Riders and 30 Death Riders.
The Rough Riders are cool from a lore perspective. I don't know about
Oh,
as much in game, but they are
they're
super
awesome.
neat.
Oh, hold on. I'm stopping at Sly Marbo really quick.
Oh,
So-
let's go.
I'm gonna let John talk about this. I'll be right back.
6 inches, 6-inch move,
He's got
toughness
it.
3, 5+
Does
save.
he have his Ripper pistol and his Envenomed blade?
Well, if you would have let me finish what I was saying, I would have said that he had his Ripper. It's actually not bad. It's anti-infantry
Yeah.
2, pistol, precision, and it's AP -1, 2 damage.
So in the lore, his Ripper pistol is basically a modified bolt pistol with armor-piercing rounds, and his Envenomed blade is something that he coated with toxins to where even if he gets the slightest cut on his enemy, they're supposed to like kill over death.
Wow, 5 attacks.
Sly Marbo is a cool dude, man.
Hitting
You
on
know,
2, strength 5, AP -1, 2 damage.
Not to be confused with Sly Rambo. And no, he does not have a metal arm. That is you're talking about
No, he said that. He said they need to bring back Colonel Slayton.
I
Once
see
per
it
turn
now.
in your opponent's shooting phase, an enemy unit makes a range attack that targets a friendly regiment unit within 3 inches of this model. After the enemy unit is shot, this model can shoot as if it were your shooting phase, but it must target only the unit when doing so. This is just fun. It's not even really that good because it's a 12-inch range. But
I don't know. Do they still have the thing
Right.
where he cannot be your warlord?
No.
Yeah.
Oh
it says
yeah,
right
yeah,
there,
yeah. No, it is.
loner.
Yeah, he's loner.
you
Yeah,
have to
and
understand.
it's specifically because he works alone. You know, he doesn't. He's so badass that he can't be.
doesn't-
He doesn't lead. He kills.
He used to be better because that ability, the shoot at the target ability, didn't used to be limited. And the second effect used to be better because it was any time he shot, he could make a move 6 inches, or he could make a normal move rather.
Yeah, you can still do that.
Yeah, no, but it's only in your shooting phase. Before, you could reactive shoot something and then move.
Oh, I got you.
So it was super good. It's
Trying to
much
nerf
worse now.
Sly Marbo.
Well, okay. Well, let me tell you why. Because I feel like guard players who weren't playing this before were gimping themselves, and a lot of people didn't play it. You could, in theory, have something that against like a okay. So John plays World Eaters, right? So you're about to charge. You're setting up a charge. You shoot with your pistols at like a vehicle because you have a bunch of berserkers. I'm gonna shoot you back. Now I'm gonna move 6 inches right next to you. Right? You then have to now decide: are you gonna charge Marbo, or are you gonna charge the vehicle that you really wanted to charge? When you go to charge me, I'm gonna overwatch you, and then I'm gonna move away, and you're gonna fail your charge.
Very lore accurate. He is a one-man army. I
I
did tell you, Jim, I don't know if you were here, but I did tell the joke that Sly Marbo once threw a grenade that killed 5 orcs, and then it exploded. Just
Yeah.
saying.
Here it says Sly Marbo, the man is a menace. He disregards orders, goes absent without leave of his superior, speaks to officers as if they were filth, and yet he has met with more success alone against these orcs than have 3 of my own regiments.
He is the classic 80s protagonist.
Sly
Which
Marbo is a one-man army, operates alone, striking
I
from
love that he's
ambush.
probably he's the only guardsman in the entire Imperium who's allowed to disregard orders and not be instantly
Killed
summary execution
by
by
a
a
commissar. Yeah.
commissar.
The commissar looks at him and like, he's that guy's good.
The truth is probably they have tried to summary execution and he's caught the bullet with his teeth.
Ooh. Have you guys seen Samurai? Getting a little off topic. Have you guys seen Samurai Cop?
No.
Oh my, Cody.
Samurai Cop?
Yeah.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Cody
When was
doesn't
this,
strike me as
70s?
Cody doesn't strike me as the type of dude to watch like bad movies.
Weird shit on
Yeah.
TV.
It is such a bad movie. They ask him, he's like, "Oh yeah, he's super fluent in Japanese," and they're like, "What is a katana?" And he's like, "It's Japanese for sword." It's such a good movie. I rewatched it recently, actually, and I'm like, you'll get Sly Marbo vibes. Like, this guy uses a samurai sword for a lot more police work than you would imagine. Like, he's about to do a drug bust, pulls out the katana. Classic police officer shenanigans.
That
You
kind
gotta
of
watch it.
it kind of reminds
We-
me of what's it called? Real quick before we get back into it.
You talking about what's it called? Kung Fury?
Yes.
Yeah,
Kung
yeah.
Fury.
It is, dude. It is like an earlier, like this is like the
Cody, you've got to watch.
inspiration.
You've got to watch Kung Fury. It's on. It's a 45-minute
Kung
movie.
Fury.
Yeah.
It is. It is worth watching if you like trash.
Okay.
Like we do.
It's not. That is okay. Some of it is trash, but
It's junk food for the action connoisseur.
all right. So Rough Riders. 12-inch move, toughness 4, 4+ save, 2 wounds, 7 leadership, OC1. This unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn in which it fell back. Why are we wanting to what? Oh. Okay, I see why.
They have Melta tips.
I was just about to say I get it now. That would be cool if it was hazardous.
No,
like,
I love
just
that it's
from
not
a-
hazardous because it's playable.
No, I get it. I mean, well, hazardous really isn't that big of a deal. Let's be honest. But it would just be funny if they were to have like they're basically javelins, not javelins. What's that called when they used to ride on horseback and they would poke each other with sticks?
Oh yeah, jousting. That's basically
Jousting.
what this is.
Yeah, it's a joust with a melta bomb on it. Like
Yeah.
just,
The best part about it is it has lance. It's a lance melta weapon.
Yeah, that's really
it's on
good.
3s. He's
So
like a veteran with lance.
It's wounding
crazy.
almost all tanks on pretty much all tanks
Fours.
on 4s.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you still get your little steeds attacks. I think it's just really cool. And then I think these actually do extremely well into actual like vehicle lists. Because even if you don't kill them, you can kind of just fall back and hit something else. The problem with the fallback and charge rule is that you have to be alive to use it,
Yeah.
and they're still guardsmen.
Yep. Yeah, we've got hit. It's old school hit and run is what that is, by the way. And our what's it called? The Drukari Hellions have hit and run, and I'm like, what's the point? You know what I mean? You're never gonna survive anything.
So keep in mind, if you run them in the recon detachment against AP1 shooting, right? So imagine like an autocannon, which is AP1 2 damage, right? I have a 3-up armor save against them if I'm getting cover against that AP1 2 damage shooting.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah. No, it is good. Definitely. I just really love the idea of Melta jousts. That's hilarious to me.
Oh, super cool. I think it's really, really cool.
I feel like
But
that's
yeah,
something that uh what's it called? AdMech should have that they put on some freaking the little bot people that they make. I can't think of the name of them right now. Like the servitor
the chicken
people.
walkers, they do have that. Their weapon is insane. You have
No,
not
no, no,
seen
no,
it?
no, not the chicken walkers. You know how they have like you know how they'll like lobotomize people?
Oh, servitors, yeah.
Yeah, servitors. Yeah. I
Have
just
you
think
seen
of
the AdMech chicken walkers? They
oh
have the
yeah,
coolest lances.
I have like fucking 8 of them.
A
I think.
lot.
Yeah, I have a
Yeah.
lot.
They are literally jousters.
Uh,
Their lance has anti-walker.
Yeah, they're tasers. They're giant cattle
yeah.
Yeah,
prods.
they're literally designed to tase each other off their mounts. They're anti-walker two up, not anti-vehicle, not
I know
anti-monster,
it's
not
funny.
anti-infantry, anti-walker.
Jim asked what is the favorite Chuck Norris joke? I have
uh,
one. If you
I'm not a
guys want
big
to go.
I'm not a big Chuck. Yeah, well, no, I don't. I'm not a Chuck Norris guy. Not a big
Cody,
fan of Chuck Norris.
you got one?
A Chuck
You
Norris
don't
joke?
you don't have to be a fan of Chuck Norris to know the Chuck Norris jokes.
Yeah, meh. Not a fan.
Cody, you got one? I got my favorite one.
I used to have a bunch when I was a kid, but I don't really hand on them. But I like Marbo jokes better because
Yeah,
he's the Chuck Norris fun guy.
they're in the same vein, but Jim, I'll give you one. Chuck Norris watches 60 minutes and 20 because he's such a badass.
Okay,
You know,
that's
That could
fair.
also apply to Sly Marbo.
That was
I
that
like
was
the
pretty
ones
good.
that are like that really make you like think. Like those ones are the ones that I really like. Like the fact that the only thing that the changeling can't mimic is Sly Marbo. Just think
I
about that. Let that turn your cogs for a second.
I like the grenade one. The grenade that killed 5 orcs and then it exploded. Sly Marbo throws a grenade, kills 5 orcs, and it's a cool model too. Like it gives that, like it looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger from Predator. Like he's like
Mhm.
coated in mud, ready to go. You know, it is a very cool. I'm glad that they haven't got rid of him because they seem to be getting rid of a lot of characters lately. And it's like he seems like a character that could maybe get cut, but it's like why would you do that? I feel like that's
Yeah.
shooting the game in the foot because it's like stuff like that is it's a game. Like have fun with it. And
yeah.
I can't think of a more fun character than Sly Marbo.
Um, I just don't remember any of them, man. It's been so long since I've done a Chuck Norris thing.
Yeah, it is one of those things you gotta like think of. Also,
Don't pass the Death Riders. Let's talk about them.
I thought I was
Jim, I
done.
don't think. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah,
I
they
was
were next to
saying,
the Attilian Rough Riders. Sorry.
Jim, I really don't think they should recast them. I think having that older style model fits the character so well. Like, I don't think you should. It needs to have that 80s vibe, and if you revamp him and make him look super cool, I feel like you're kind of taking away from the fun in it. Like, because it's basically Rambo, and it looks like the model looks like an 80s action figure. I feel like making it too stylized for the future might take away from it.
But
I could just be being
no, I don't disagree.
No, I agree
a
with you. Actually,
prude.
I agree with you. I kind of like it.
So, Death Riders, why? What is the deal with why you want them?
So they are the only thing that the Lord Marshal, Drier, I think is how you say his name, can attach to. Right? These are like the Death Krieg unit, Death Krieg mounted guys. Right? Um, so they get they get the reactive move, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Built into their data sheet, and then they have a frag lance, which is pretty neat. Just the sheer volume of attacks, and they all get power savers, which is also cool. Whereas only the sergeant from the Attilian Rough Riders get it, but then the rest of them get Melta lances, so it's easy trade off. But you have options. What's pretty cool about these is that if you look at the sheer volume of attacks 10 of these bring, right? So 10 guys has basically, it's like a flamer almost. It's 10d6 frag lances, right? And then each of them also have 2 more attacks from their mount. All at strength 4, but the mount attacks are 2 damage, but the frag lances are a d6. And if you give them fixed bayonets, the whole unit will be hitting on 2s, except for the mounts, which will be hitting on 3s.
Is there any way to give him AP?
No, but go look at Lord Marshall. I mean, the power sabers have AP, so that if you need AP option, you have it there because they have both the frag lance and the power saber, so you pick the volume or the guaranteed AP.
I went way too far. Good lord.
Oh,
All right, where is the Lord Marshal? This is not.
I would help you, but we're on a delay on the stream, so I can't see right away.
Oh my god. I'm assuming he's at the beginning, right? There's Lord
He's early
Solar,
on.
Ursula.
Mhm.
Nope, Ursula. Good lord. Ursula. Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Lord Marshal Dreer. The first time this model is destroyed. Nope, not looking at that. Each time this model's unit makes a charge move. Devastating wounds.
Yeah. So nothing about the volume. Remember,
Yeah,
10 guys,
yeah, that's gross.
D6 attacks each.
That's
Average.
super
Average of
gross.
10 guys. So remember, average of 2 models is roughly 7, right, for D6 attacks. So that times 5. So you're having the squad and then times it by 5 is 35. You're having 35 attacks roughly from frag lances. All have death wound. They hit on 2s. They hit on 2s.
I hear you, dude. I like it. That's actually that just made. I mean, it just
He
kind of.
also can order. He can order 3 targets, so he can give 3 units of these hit on 2s.
Yeah, the dev wounds is really where it's at, though. That's wild.
Yeah, but the other 2 squads that he's not leading, use their power sabers instead. Then the power sabers just hit on 2s.
So you already did the math for what the average was.
Oh yeah. Sorry. So I mean, it's roughly like 35 attacks from the frag lances alone. So it should be roughly like 29 hits because we don't really have access to rerolls at the moment. I mean, there's some cool, neat strats, but I think you should run this in the recon detachment. Um, but anyway, actually, I didn't realize that.
I'm
I'll ask you
laughing
to
at
go back to the recon detachment in a second.
I'm laughing at Jim. The official name for an exterminatus is Sly Marbo.
No, that
Yeah.
was me.
Oh, that was you.
Me
Oh
and
shit.
me and Jim are going back and forth with Sly Marbo jokes in the chat to
Gotcha.
not take away, not to detract.
Jim should be listening to how I think he could run this if he really wanted to have fun.
Yeah, Jim, pay attention
Uh,
while I say the Sly Marbo jokes.
and then you could still run 6 armored sentinels and six scout sentinels after this. I'm pretty sure it all fits in, and you still have a lot of points left over.
Not the chicken walkers.
Yeah, they're cool too. I mean, they're like armored sentinels are really awesome. Actually, I think
The
they hunt.
ATSTs.
Yeah, they just hunt monsters with blast cannons, and they get reroll.
Yeah, they get
I think
rerolls
it's
against
reroll.
vehicles and monsters.
Do
So
they
yeah,
get
And
great.
hunter killer
it's
missiles too?
reroll wound rolls, by the way.
Yeah, they get 1 hunter killer each,
Yeah, that's hunter killers are nice.
and then
Like
they
nice
actually
little addition.
melee is not terrible either. This is actually a slight nerf, by the way. Because they're matching the box set, you can only run 1 to 2. You used to be able to run up to 3. 1 to 3. So this is a slight nerf. So unfortunately, Jim, I think he owns like 27 of these. So his playable collection is slowly decreasing.
That is
Scout
shitty that they
Sentinels
do
are
that.
cool.
They are making the models bigger in general, though. I think they're reducing the amount of models that you can bring slowly over
Mhm.
time.
Yeah, I think so too. They probably want it to be a more like less models, faster, but the models are more meaningful.
Yeah,
You feel more power from your individual model.
that was their kind of mission statement, was to get rid of rules bloat and make the game
Yeah, they did not do that.
more
Yeah,
streamlined.
it
Yeah,
was simpler, not simple.
yeah,
Yeah, they definitely did not do that. The
yeah.
game was
That was
actually,
their
believe it or not,
mission statement.
the game was a lot easier back in 5th edition when you had universal rules, which they do now, but like basically
Mhm.
your units didn't have all of this stuff in here like this. It just
Yeah.
had like
You
stealth
consulted the
and
core rules.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
Everyone knew the core rules. So there was you just told them what your unit had and everyone knew what that meant.
right, yeah. I do miss my fifth edition days. It was fun, but yeah, I mean, dude, I mean, I
Shut
don't
up, old man.
I don't remember.
Sorry, I didn't talk about the good stuff. I talked about the off meta stuff. But
Yeah,
um
I'm sure.
I think guard lists are gonna look the same as they used to. Bunch of tanks, bunch of Lehman Russes, probably 5 Rogaldorns or 6 Rogaldorns, 3 commanders and 3 regular, because now the Rogaldorns have 10 commander versions.
Lehman Russ Executioner. That sounds terrifying. It looks terrifying. I've seen
Yeah,
some
with
really
a name
cool.
like Executioner, you know.
I've seen some really cool paint jobs that they do on these on the cannons.
Plasma, yeah, where it's like heating up
Yeah,
and about to like
yeah, it looks like it's hot.
hazardous, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. But was there anything else that you wanted to any
I
main
think
points?
the only things that I think we should touch on last, just to be quick, is some of the data sheets, like the 2 data sheets that I think both are new and I think are really good. It's the artillery unit has a specific weapon in it that's new, and then the Kriegsman engineer squad, I think is what they're called, have the mines.
What
So the
what are the names of them?
yeah, so you have they're gonna be towards the end, I think. I'll pull them up.
Hellhound,
Nope.
Baneblade. No, I'm
Jim
just
probably wants to talk about that, but no, it's before all that.
Death Corps engineers.
Death
We
Corpse.
saw
All right, so
Death
there's an
Corps.
artillery team. It's page 117 in the book, whatever page you're on. I don't know
Oh,
if it matches up on your stream. Yeah, 133. Yeah. So
uh,
this is
that would
artillery team.
uh,
I
the
know I love those, but I'm not looking for that.
the field ordnance battery.
Nope, scroll up slightly. Same page.
Oh, so okay, you're talking about. I got you.
The artillery team
And you should
added a weapon called the siege cannon.
blast
The
heavy
siege
indirect
cannon
fire. Yeah,
is cool, but it's the 12 minus 2/3 damage. Now you get one weapon of this, but it sits behind your in your backline. You can do a couple of these. I actually have the points pulled up for them, so let me see.
yeah. I was about to say
The
this really depends on the points. I would assume.
artillery teams cost 95 points, so you can pay 95 points to put a d6 shot, strength 12 minus 2, 3 damage weapon in your backline.
That's worth having three.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't think it's that expensive to be honest.
No,
Um,
three D
and
six
then
is
it,
strength 12 minus. Yeah, wow, it's a ballistic skill 5, but I'm sure you can
but
do.
it, it's also heavy, so it's always hits on fives. And if you do take aim, it's force.
No, it's heavy, so it'll hit on 4s, and then take aim would make it 3s, right?
Mm-mm. No, no, because indirect is always -1 to hit.
Oh shit, that's right. Yep.
Yeah.
I missed the
Um,
indirect.
but what it does have is it also has the added benefit of freely battle shocking things. So even if you don't kill things with it, you can just be. I kind of think that maybe the best way to use this would actually just be spreading damage around and battle shocking targets. Mostly like important things that your opponent has, like trying to battle shock it. And if you have 3 of these, you can try to battle shock the same target 3 times. Even if you're not trying to kill it, just denying stratagem usage on like a, a big like what's it called, the Astropos or whatever, the 600 point knight that everyone's running 2 of in their list right now. Hitting that 3 times with this and trying and forcing a battle shock on it 3 times in a row,
Yeah.
like that's
Wait,
that.
weight of dice.
Exactly. And you're going to do damage to it. You're not going to do a lot of damage to it. You're going to do some damage to it. You're going to hit like you could across 3 of these, you might do like 6 damage, maybe 9 damage to it, which is still great. But you're also going to eventually battle shock it. His 7 leadership or 6 leadership is going to fail after 3 battle shocks, and then he doesn't have access to strats anymore. So I think that could be a really cool thing. After this one, there's one more data sheet we should look at, which is the Krieg Engineers, which I think is
Well,
slightly
you could put
before
these in
this.
lanes and movement lanes, like all the way behind, in the back to
Mhm.
try to get some line of sight so you're not dealing with indirect fire constantly. I mean, you're probably going to deal with it like
Most of the game.
most of the game, but at least you
Yeah.
might be able to get some shots.
Yeah, I think if you run 3 of these, you could easily put the slow movement means you're not trying to maneuver them. You're going to set them up and sit them there. So unless you hilariously, they are regiment and stuff, so you could in theory use move to give them 6 inches movement. But
Yeah.
uh if you really needed to. And they are infantry, so this artillery piece could move through a wall. But if you want to, you could put 1 on your home objective or 2 on your home objective and 1 in a lane. So if they do peek, because someone's not going to shoot a bunch of big anti-tank guns at this one thing that's standing in a lane, right? I mean, realistically, they're not going to shoot a las cannon at this.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
just not valuable enough for that.
it's serving a dual purpose by sitting in your back line too, because you're denying, you're screening with it at the same time. So
True, yeah. If you want to spread out and like really hold your back line, because now
yeah,
the best you can do is a 6 inch deep strike. So as long as you screen out 6 inches with 3 of these, you're in like if you do search and destroy that like quadrant deployment, your deployment could be totally screened off by 3 of these. And then they are never interactable either. They just go shooting indirect the whole game and denying your back line. So you play against like Grey Knights or Hypercrypt, and they're not getting to your backline ever. That could be really solid.
yeah, and they have to hit right one of those attacks. Yeah, with their indirect fire, score to hit.
They
Yeah.
do. Yeah, so you have like a character back there who's ordering them. Um, so you do need to pay a little bit extra investment to get them to hit on 4s. But after
If you
that,
got characters that can issue orders of 2 different units, right?
yeah, a couple of them can do 3. Like Lord Marshall can do 3 units.
What is
Solar
it,
can do
18
three
inches?
units. No, I think it's Jim can correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's 12.
Is it?
Um,
Do they still have the Vox casters that can increase that range?
to 24. Yeah.
Yeah.
Vicious. Oh yeah, okay. I'd have Sly Marbo's baby.
You got to look him up. He's a badass. He's a baddie.
And what was the other one you were looking at?
So it's the Krieg Combat Engineers. It's a few pages before this. This unit is cracked. I need to see how many points they are. Let me pull them up real quick.
Wow, they put him next to the other
Christ.
Krieg unit. I don't know.
So they originally released at 70 points, but now there are 95 points per 10.
So
5 models originally released at 35 points. They were 35 points for 5 originally. Now they're 75. They doubled their cost. That's how OP these motherfuckers are.
on a 3+ units. Oh my God! Once per battle at the start of your shooting phase, you can select one enemy unit within 12 inches of the bear and roll 1d6 on a 3+. That
These
unit
6 models.
suffer. Yeah,
But if you're a vehicle, you take D3 plus 3.
yeah.
Oh my god.
So this is reminiscent of some Gene Stealer cult stuff. They've
Exactly.
Yeah,
And what's
they've got
insane
similar
about
shit.
this is you still get a free grenade strat.
Yeah.
Look at the grenadiers, the top thing.
Once returned,
Grenade strat for 0 CP.
Yeah, they're just a mortal wound bomb.
Mm-hmm.
That's
You take 3 of these.
now what sucks is once per battle, and you roll a 2 or a 1. That's
Mhm.
a real feels bad moment, which would be me.
Trust me.
Yeah.
That was what I was playing with GSC. So you play 5 of them for 70 points. You do this 3 times. So you take 210 points of these, and you just get 3d6 mortals, or really 2d6 mortals, because you're going to fail 1 of 3. In theory, on average, right? Like you have 3 of them, you should fail 1. So you do 2d6, and if you're targeting a vehicle, you're averaging 10 mortals to that same vehicle if you do it in the same turn. And if you spike and get lucky, you can do as many as 18 to that vehicle. You can one-shot a Dorn.
Yeah,
Ooh.
and you don't need to. Yeah, you can just bring 5-man units.
And that's not it exactly. There's nothing that says like you only get the remote line of 10 or anything like that. And they still
Yeah.
have guns. They still have guns. You can
Yeah.
get a flamer on the
Plasma.
engine one of the engineers.
You can get a
You can
plasma
get.
pistol. Yeah.
hmm Oh wait, there it is. I'm sorry. One combat engineer can be replaced with a remote mine. Okay. Any number of them can have their auto pistol and club replaced. Okay. The
Yeah,
watch,
that's
the main guy can get a plasma pistol, and then yeah. Okay, yeah.
dude, you really want a unit dead, take 3 of them, just throw them all within 12 inches of a unit.
You know what's really really crazy about that is 12 inches. See, this is they like really nerfed GSC saboteurs because of the 12 inches. It
This
used to
needs
be
to be
12, now it's
9.
9.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know why? Is because they can come in from reserve and do this.
Yep.
Oof.
They come in from the side of the board and they just bomb something 12 inches away. If it was 9 inches, then they can't hit something the turn they come in. So you have to put them on the board if you want to use them, which gives you an opportunity to play around. But if you put them in reserve, you force your opponent into you can't play around it. It's not possible.
Yeah.
Seems kind of weird that they've been going away from like the advantage from deep striking, but then they left it in for this. It kind of
Yeah,
makes me think like
exactly.
how far in advance do they write this?
I
Well,
think
okay,
they
so
well really
GSC has
far.
been out for a little bit longer. Like that ability, I would assume that they would probably at some point do something similar.
Yeah, I mean it will get nerfed, but like to what John's saying is, I bet you this book was written a year ago.
Yeah. And then they're now implementing it. They're like they have it staggered.
hmm
It's already kind of like theory crafted, and then they stagger it as far as
Yeah.
releases because they don't want to release it all at once
Yeah,
because
well,
Yeah,
I mean, dude,
they
they're
the
they're
hype
selling the
and the
models
sales.
right now. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
keeping it this way. They're gonna let it run for a couple months, and then they're gonna nerf it down to
mhm.
9 inches.
Yeah.
they there was a lot of theories that they used to like release books with the intention of going into the new edition. So they were writing like 3 months in advance. So they were like releasing codex at the end of an edition that was like guiding into the next edition. Now the theory is that like 10th edition came out and they literally wrote every codex at the start of 10th.
Yeah. And then they just
And now they're
adjust it
just
after.
slowly releasing them as they come out, and then they will release them with nerfs if they need to, or like release them full strength so
I
they can
just
sell the models and then nerf them
From a
weeks
business
later.
standpoint, I understand why because you don't release too much content at once because
hmm
then people are going to buy the models they want. Whereas if you stagger it, they're more likely to buy it as it goes on, a little bit more consistently. Especially people that chase meta and want to buy models that they need. They're more likely to string it out. Whereas if you do this like a flat out release, people are just going to buy what they want and not buy anything else. So it seems a little bit like a marketing,
oh, it's 100% marketing. It's not even
a little
seems like it.
marketing,
That's what it
little
is.
marketing ploy.
But anyway, was this the last one you wanted to go over?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other good things in it. I think everyone needs to read it themselves and it's gonna take their time with it. But I got to touch on the stuff that I like, and then the things that I think are going to be in the meta. We didn't talk about Rogel Dorn tank commanders, so the Rogel Dorn commanders, but there's gonna be lists. Everyone should be afraid. Everyone should be aware. There's going to be lists with 6 Rogel Dorns in it. It is 6 models with 18 wounds at T12, 2 of armor save. That's gonna be
Ooh,
the thing. Be prepared. Other than that, I'm done.
Yeah, that's gross.
oof,
Uh,
oof.
okay, so I am super excited to talk about this, and I'm sure Cody's gonna take the wind right out of my sails and tell me how.
Is that a pun because they're Wind Riders?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
nice!
wind right out of the Wind Riders. They're just
Hell yeah,
riders at this point.
yeah.
I'm not even a dad yet.
Yeah,
All right, so unfortunately, because I had work, I couldn't because I wanted to write this down so I could have it like up on the screen so we could discuss it and actually see it. But this is my list. So, and we're moving into Eldari for anybody not following right now. I'm taking the Wind Rider detachment, and for those that don't know what the Wind Rider detachment does, uh, it is uppy
Are you
downy.
able
I
to
get
put the attachment on stream or no?
I don't. Well, I have the old one. I don't know where it's
I
at
guess
right
it
now.
changed. Oh, okay.
It's super quick.
Mhm.
In a declare battle formation step, you can set up a Sirianni mounted or Viper units from your army and reserves. Oh, it's and or whatever. During the battle, such units can be set up on the battlefield as if they were arriving from strategic reserves. For the purposes of setting up mounted or Viper units from your army on the battlefield, treat the current battle round as being one higher than it actually is. So that is a turn one. They don't deep strike, so it's a turn one coming in from the side and shooting something.
Mhm.
And
Strategic reserve, yeah.
in addition, at the end of your opponent's turn, you can select up to 2 because we're playing 2,000 point armies. 2, and I'm not dealing with Vipers, so let's just forget about the Vipers. I can basically pick up 2 mounted units and put them back into reserve. So there's some uppy downy. So really good scoring potential for that stuff. And also, Wind Riders are battle line units.
Let me ask you a question. Do Wind Riders have deep strike?
No, they don't. That's why I was saying they come in from strategic reserve. There is no deep strike for them.
Okay, so it's actually interesting because the second part of this, which only targets 2 units, that allows them to come in turn 1, it actually still has effect on turn 2 because you're limited to where they can come in on the board as well. Don't forget that. When you come in
Yeah.
on turn 1, you're still limited on where you can come in
Oh
because
yeah.
you can't come in their deployment zone until turn 3.
No.
So this
Yeah.
would allow you to come in their deployment zone on turn 2. So it still has play then too.
Right. Yeah. And actually, I am playing into that with some of the decisions that I made for enhancements. Enhance.
Enhance.
I don't know if nobody knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. Thank
I,
you.
yeah, I know.
All right. So I have 2 Farseer Skyrunners, which are Farseers on jet bikes. One of them has the Seer Strike or Seer Sight Strike, which is anti-monster 2, anti-vehicle 2 for its weapons, for its psychic weapons. I have another Farseer Skyrunner that I gave Echoes of Ulthanash, whatever. Basically, what this does is I get a chance to get a CP on a 5+ if I'm in my deployment zone. If I'm not in my deployment zone in no man's land, it's a 4+, and if I'm in your backline, I get it on a 3+.
Yeah.
I have Fuegan. I have
Oh, of course you do. Cool.
yeah, of course he's kind of a staple. I do want to start building lists without Fire Dragon just because I know
So
they're
you
going to be an
don't
issue.
have the Scout one for
This-
Stun Blade, or you do?
the Scout
First
one.
Dawn
What?
Blade enhancement? The first Dawn Blade enhancement? The first Drawn Blade, sorry. First Drawn
Oh
Blade
no, I
enhancement?
don't. No, I don't.
Interesting. Okay.
I thought about it. I've got Lycus.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how you say it.
Because he
Yeah, I
bought
think
the
it is, too.
model. We got
well,
you.
no, actually, he played. So all of this, believe it or not, like the list won't sound amazing until I kind of go over like all the combos that are in here. So, I have 3 units of Wind Riders, all kitted with Shuriken cannons. It's 2 6-man, 1 3-man. I have a Wave Serpent that's going to be holding the Fire Dragons and that's a 5-man unit of Fire Dragons, which I didn't realize this until we were playing the other night, but they gave the Exarch the same weapon profile that Fuegan does, which is pretty wild to me. He gets Melta 6 now.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a unit of Dark Reapers, 1 5-man unit. I've been kind of going back and forth on whether or not I want to keep these guys, but I do need things in my backline, and they're there to shoot at things, but also kind of just, be there for that. But I've got 2 6-man Shining Spear units. I've got 2 Warwalkers with scatter lasers. I've got 2 Warlock Skyrunners, and I've got a unit of Warp Spiders. So the Skyrunners are attached, obviously, to the larger Wind Rider squads, which will also have the Farseer Skyrunners in them. The Skyrunner or the Warlocks give the unit ignores cover. And innately, Reapers have ignore cover as well, but that's just a little side thing. So the Warwalkers, their special ability is in your shooting phase. After this unit shot, select one enemy unit hit by one or more of those attacks until the end of the phase. Each time a friendly Aeldari unit from your unit makes an attack that targets the enemy, improve the AP by 1. So innately, shuriken cannons are AP -1, 2 damage apiece with lethal hits. The unit comes with rerolls to hit baked into their profile. If it's not the closest unit, it's rerolls of 1s. If it's the closest unit, it's full rerolls to hit.
That's cool. Okay.
Which obviously I'm going for, depending on what I'm shooting at, I'm going to be going mostly for lethal hits because they kind of need to deal with everything. Lycus, his ability is in your shooting phase after this model has after this model has shot.
After this model has shallot. Also, you didn't say shuriken right. Gonna point that out.
Select one enemy unit hit by one or more of those attacks until the end of the turn. Each time a friendly Aeldari model makes an attack that targets that unit, an unmodified hit roll of a 5 scores a critical hit. So comboing that with the Wind Rider, so now they're going to be re-rolling hits, lethal hitting on 5s at AP -2, 2 damage. So far right now with whatever I'm selecting. The 2 Farseers also have an ability that allows them to target a unit, pick a unit out within 18 inches invisible. That enemy unit becomes -1 to wound. Now, the Seer Strike ability, it benefits psychic weapons. So Eldritch Storm is a psychic weapon. It's a blast. It's D6 shots at 24 inches, hits on 3, strength 6, AP -2, D3 damage. So that's anti-vehicle, anti-monster, fuck.
No, you're right. Anti-monster, anti-vehicle.
Anti-monster, anti-vehicle 2+. So I'm wounding tanks and monsters on a 2+, and I'm assuming
with -2 reroll, full rerolls to hit.
Yep.
D3 damage.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
The other thing was, the warp spiders with them. Their stratagems. Until the end phase when setting up I can make it. Okay, so I can come in until the end of phase when setting your unit up on a battlefield reserves. It can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 6 inches horizontally away from all enemy units. When doing so, if your unit is set up within 9 inches horizontally until the end of the turn, is not eligible to declare a charge. So this gives them deep strike. It gives a unit deep strike, is what I'm understanding from that.
Say that again.
One mounted or Viper unit from your army that's in reserves until the end of the phase. When setting up your unit on the battlefield from reserves, it can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 6 inches horizontally away from all enemy units.
Yes.
So one of those units is going to be able to deep strike.
Yeah, on turn yeah, exactly.
Right.
Better deep strike because you can get within 6.
It is. And that allows the full, guarantees the full rerolls to hit on these bikes.
Yeah.
Wind of Blades for a CP. This is why I brought the CP farm, because it is going to require some CP to make it effective. Until the end of the turn, your unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced or fell back. And by the way, the bikes, not the Wind Riders, the other ones. I hate their names. I can't think of them. It's the Shining Spears. Shining Spears ignore terrain, basically. They have old school jet bike rules where you just fly over the top of them.
Yeah.
So you ignore the vertical distance. So being able to advance and charge with them, really beneficial. I don't know if you've looked at their weapon profile, but it's kind of freaking amazing. They are a little pricey. I was kind of apprehensive about bringing 2 units of them, but I feel like having 2 units of basically go screw yourself combat is pretty good. Till the end turn.
I mean, it is, yeah.
The Death from on High is until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes an attack, you can reroll the wound roll. That's really there for the fire dragons, to be honest. Oh no, they automatically get that. No, never mind. It's kind of there just in case I need it, because I'm really worried more about rerolls that hit. Focus firepower is kind of the other one that I'd be using a lot. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes an attack, improve the AP characteristic of that attack by 1. So now I'm wounding. Now I'm hitting lethals, or getting rerolls with lethals on against a specific target on 5s at AP -3. And I can also give a unit a 4-up invul, a mounted unit a 4-up invul. And the crazy thing, one of the more
How many
crazy.
shots is that again?
Say again.
For the lethals on 5s at AP3.
How many
How
shots?
much is that? How many shots is that?
So, well, it depends on how many
And
units.
it's full rerolls if you're targeting the close one.
Yes. Otherwise, it's rerolls of 1s to hit. So you're really only missing
Mhm.
on 2s.
Mhm.
Obviously, I want the full rerolls to fish for 6s, depending on what I'm shooting at. If I'm shooting at a tank, I'm going to be fishing for 6s. If I'm shooting at an infantry unit, I won't fish for 6s. But, yeah. So were you asking how I'm getting the 5s?
No. Not how, because I know you have the strat for lethals on 5s, right? Or sorry, crits on 5s, right?
It's not a strat. It's Lycus,
Oh, sure.
which is kind of
No.
a pinch in a pinch situation. It'll probably be. This
Mhm.
is like in my brain, this is kind of an alpha strike, a little bit more of an alpha strike army. Like you do as much damn. Like I haven't fully thought how I'm gonna go about playing it, because it is a fast army, but there's so much that this has to it, that one of
Mhm.
the and one of the things being the not opportunity. Oh yeah, opportunity seized. So is it opportunity seized? There's another strat too that I'm gonna stack with this. One eligible unit from your army that was hit by one. Nope. Sudden strike. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in this unit makes a pylon or consolidation move, it can move up to 6 inches. So if I kill a unit with my shining spears, I can make a until the end of the phase, they can make a pylon or consolidation move up to 6 inches instead of 3. And then you combo that with overflight, which is your shooting or your fight phase just after a mounted unit from your army destroys an enemy unit. Your unit can make a normal move of up to 7 inches. So you pay a CP, you move 7 inches after it destroyed a unit, then you do a token for sudden strike and make a pylon or consolidation move to 6 inches. So you're getting 13 inches of movement, possibly. Obviously, if you're going to do the consolidation move, the pylon or consolidation, you have to try to get in a range of an enemy unit or an objective marker.
Yeah.
But it's just wild to me that you can get 13 inches, potentially 13 inches after killing a unit.
That is a lot of inches.
You're so stupid, dude.
It is a lot.
I do respect John's light game.
Yeah, I put the lights up. I did the thing. I got lighting. I did it.
Obviously, I don't need to talk about fire dragons. We all know what fire dragons do. It is more of a kamikaze unit in this list, because they are definitely getting out, shooting something, and dying, because they're gonna die.
That's a question I have for Kody. How bad do you think fire dragons are going to get hit?
I mean,
They seem very cost effective
I
right now.
I think they're 100 points for 5 right now, 200 points for 10. I think that I would not be surprised. Actually, I actually have the thing. Let me make sure that they weren't adjusted already. Yeah, 100 points for 5, 200 points for 10. I could see 5 being 125, 25 points per model. I could see that. 125, I think that's fair. That's 250 for 10. If you want to run 30 of them, you're paying 750. I think that's fair. Just for what they do. I think Fuegan's too cheap, so I think that he's probably going to go up another. He's 120 right
20
now. I
points.
could see him going up at minimum 20. I could
Yeah.
see him going to 140, 150, 145 maybe, somewhere in there.
Increasing the range of those weapons to 18 inches is insane. Like it's
Yeah,
so it's
it's everything I've heard. The meta is a 10-man block and then a 5-man squad with him. And then you run 2 of them and you put them in wave serpents. Or actually you can put, to be fair, you can put the 5-man squad in a falcon if you want. But they already get it doesn't help them. The wave serpent's more efficient.
well, to be fair, if you really wanted to take down a giant squad of, I don't know, something that's not a vehicle or a monster,
Mhm.
you would get the rerolls to wound coming out of a falcon. There is that. Not that you'd probably it's strength 9. You're gonna be wounding.
What do
You
you
know,
mean? You already get reroll roll
no,
to
it's
wound
only
for being a
against
fire dragon.
It's only against monsters
Oh,
and
you're saying
vehicles.
if you want to kill like Terminators, for
Yeah,
example.
yeah,
Fair enough. Yeah.
like death shrouds or something where you're wounding on
Sure.
threes.
Yeah.
But
But you're paying 15 points extra for something, and then against a lot of armies, you really want to kill vehicles with that. So it's like, is it worth the 15-point premium to get your Fuegan in that?
I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying if there
Hmm.
is a reason to, like if you are like, hey, I've got the extra 15 points, and you only have 5 fire dragons, you do get more shots. You do. There is more anti, like really everything uh, oh, with a falcon, and it does
Hmm.
benefit that you always get rerolls jumping out of that vehicle regardless of what you're shooting at. So, but with that being said, um, I know you probably don't like this list because I don't.
I think it's fun. I'm not going to say it's a bad list. It's one of those lists where I think that it could totally be fine if you're like have a high skill cap, like you kind of like play towards your I guess strengths, and you've played the list multiple times. You have a lot of reps on it. This is like a list where I feel like you would never succeed just picking it up and playing, taking it to an RTT. You'll probably go 1 and 2 at best. If you're a good player, you'll probably go 1 and 2, maybe 2 and 1 to get the right opponent. But
Are you saying
you're not
one
gonna,
win and 2 losses? Is that what you're saying?
yeah, what 1 and 2 or 2 and 1 if you like. I'm saying if you take this list and you've never played it before,
Oh yeah,
you'll
yeah,
go
yeah,
like
yeah.
you'll go like 1 and 2 maybe at best, unless you're a really really like top 50 player in the world, top 100 player in the world. Maybe you'll go 2 and 1 with it. This is not a 3-0 list at RTT if you first pick it up. If you play this type of list a lot, the movement shenanigans, the first turn reserve shenanigans, I could see you going 4-1, even 5-0. Like at some GTs, like this past weekend, I could see like this list like sneaking in a 5-0, if like piloted by the right person, who knows what they're doing, who has a lot of reps on this list, um, which is something that people don't really talk about, but they talk about it sometimes when they talk about like Gene Stealer Colts, because they're an army that can be very not user friendly for new players, or not new user friendly. Um, I think that this might be one of those lists. I mean, Eldar very much are a scalpel right now. Like if you pick what you want to kill, you can kill it.
Yeah.
And if you have an accident or you play wrong, your scalpel breaks in half.
Oh, that's.
Right.
I mean, but that. Yeah. And I've been playing Eldar and Drukari for pretty much the entire time I've been playing 40K.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I just like this. I feel like this. I always feel like whenever I play an army, there's usually something that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna struggle with that. This list is gonna
Mm-hmm.
struggle against non-LOS shooting for sure. That's just a
Oh,
problem for Eldar in general. Like anything
for
Eldari,
sure.
you're struggling with
You're too
that.
squishy, yeah.
But what it does have that my other armies that I have never had the access to is the ability to deep strike first turn with an entire unit that can remove something if I need to. Granted, I'm
Mm-hmm.
probably, gonna lose that unit, but it has the ability to just take something off of the table. Not to mention the
Mm-hmm.
fact that these guys, I mean, don't get me wrong, my main killers in this list are Battle Line, but I put
Mm-hmm.
that little 3-man in there just to be able to kind of, if I need it, they can shoot, or if I need it, they can do an action or you know what I'm saying? Like they're there. And that's kind of what the warp spiders are there for. And in a pinch, Lycus can go and do his little 5, if I really need something to die, he can jump up, shoot it, and then, remove it off the table with just a ridiculous amount of shuriken cannon fire.
Shuriken, there you go. I was waiting for it.
Um, I feel like this list right here is 100% my playstyle. Like I'm actually really wanting to try this out on TTS because I think the only thing stopping me from running this list is the absorbent amount of money I'm going to have to spend to actually field it, like, monetarily speaking.
Monetarily speaking. Well, let's get a lot of games on TTS, and if you destroy everyone you play, then you kind of are obligated to spend that money.
I mean, dude, you're just doing like so much
devil's work.
There's so much lethal hits going around here. I mean, you're getting 3 shots a piece, so you're getting 18 shots per unit. That's really only missing on ones or twos.
I agree.
I mean,
whenever you said you wanted to play the list against Custodes, I was like, oh, there's no way they'd have so few. Like it's just a dice check at that point. Like it's a numbers game because so many shots
or not.
Yeah, but I'm just seeing Custodes are just everywhere. What I don't want to play it against is, what I need to play it against is Imperial Guard. I feel like Imperial Guard would be...
You telling me you want to play my Imperial Guard list?
I would love to play your Imperial Guard list.
Ooh, I'd like to be a fly on the wall.
I mean,
you gotta have slime armor.
It's not what you're expecting. Although your 2 damage shurikens will be really strong against my army.
I mean, and the fact that we're removing, and by the way, that's not. I mean, there's still more shooting in the list too, because I'm not counting the twin shuriken catapults, and I'm also not counting the warlocks that, their ranged weapons get more powerful by them being a psyker and the Farseer being a psyker with them.
Mm-hmm.
Because they get D6 psychic attacks too. I mean, granted, these are at 12 inches, but. So it'd be like strength 7, AP -1, D6 +2 shots, and they're torrent, so they auto hit. Yeah, so I mean, I feel like this has kind of an answer for everything.
I mean, I would concur. I don't think it's. I think it's pretty solid.
I mean, dude.
To be honest, I kind of like it. I think you're gonna run into some issue like the like I said, like the body count issue. Like if you play against an army that has I think a lot of flamers are gonna hurt you, right? Like armies that run a lot of them, or have like reasonable Overwatch is what I'm getting at. It's gonna be a pain in the ass for you.
Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah, but I have something for that.
Oh, you have a no Overwatch strat?
It's not a strat, it's a token.
Oh, okay.
When an eligible unit from your army is selected to make a normal move, advance, or fallback move, it is set up on a battlefield or declares a charge. Until the end of the turn, enemy units cannot use the fire Overwatch stratagem to shoot at that unit.
That's good.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, it's got an answer for everything.
You're talking about the battle focus, yeah. That's good.
It's got play.
I concur. I like it. I mean, I'm an off meta player. I love playing the off meta. I mean,
so do I.
3-0 with a 12 robot list. So
I feel like this sudden strike consolidation thing, 13-inch consolidate would really catch some people off guard, man. I mean, I don't even know if that's really been noticed anywhere. You know what I mean? Like if people have put that together.
Explain it one more time.
So a token.
I can hear you, by the way, I'm gonna step away, but I can just hear you.
For a token, I can consolidate up to 6 inches, and then for a CP, I can make a normal move of up to 7 inches, and that's after an enemy unit has been destroyed.
Oof.
So here's where you have to do this in a specific order, is what I'm understanding from this. As soon as so this all happens in the fight phase. So you kill the enemy unit, you pay a CP, you make a normal move of up to 7 inches, and then immediately use your opportunity seized. Use your sudden strike to do your consolidate. My
And
worry
this
is
would
that,
be,
huh?
I was gonna say this would be like exclusively Shining Spears.
Yes, this would be exclusively Shining Spears.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can like it makes sense that you could do a 7-inch move and then immediately consolidate in 6 inches into a vehicle
Yeah.
or something that doesn't want to be in melee.
And then check this out. It
That's
doesn't
cool.
stop there. But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more.
If that unit that doesn't want to be in melee tries to get away from you, you can spend yet another token and immediately make a D6 plus 1 move. So if they try to run from you, you can run them down and get back into combat with them. So,
Okay, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's cool for sure.
which is funny because it's like all your, huh?
I think our game will be hilarious, but I'm gonna lose because your damage like margins are just designed to beat the list that I have. But I think it'd be really fun to play.
Yeah, we should get that on stream for sure. For sure. But it is reaching that 11:30 mark, and I have to be places tomorrow. Unfortunately.
Oof.
So yeah. It is good to. I really, really, really need to get games in against Astra Militarum. It is that and Necrons. Those are the two armies that are my weak. I feel like they're my weak link. I don't play against a lot of what's it called? Knights lists. If I roll okay, I mean the ones that I have played, if I roll okay, I'm good, but that just comes down to bad rolls. I mean, it's a pretty, you're playing a Darklance list or something like that, it's pretty much just, can you kill it by not rolling
that check?
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's all I got. What about you there, John? What are you doing with your little...
I don't usually have anything to say until you're in the process of raiding, so I'll hold off.
Actually, I forgot to raid or to even look for a raid. The what's it called? The tournament that we are holding is, we just had a little meeting not too long ago, and I actually wanted to send you the notes just to see if I'm missing anything. But
yeah, sure.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, we'll do Rottweiler again. Rottweiler 616.
Solid.
Yeah, we got some of our shit worked out, and I'm getting pretty excited about it, and I'm sure it's gonna come up real freaking quick, as everything always does when it comes to that.
I'm flies.
But all right, well, it's been fun. We'll see you guys on the next one. I'm not gonna be here until Sunday, so I can tell you that coming home, my wife would have my reproductive organs in a vice if I came home after being away for 5 days and just go straight into a stream.
So you're telling me there's a chance for a horror stream Sunday night?
Definitely not. So, but
Real
I
life
might.
So before we raid, I'm gonna go ahead and start talking.
Oh God!
Now that I have things to say again.
No, but all right, guys, we will see y'all on the next one. Bye.
Take it easy.